there?
Nay, answer me! Stand and unfold yourself!
Long live the king!
You come most carefully upon your hour.
It is now struck 12. Get thee to bed, Francisco.
For this relief, much thanks. 'Tis bitter cold, and I am sick at heart.
Have you had quiet guard?
Not a mouse stirring.
Well, I'll give you good night. If you do meet Horatio and Marcellus, the rivals of my watch, bid them make haste.
I think I hear them. Yes, stand ho! Who's there?
Friends to this ground.
And liegemen today.
Give you good night.
Farewell, honest soldier.
Who hath relieved you?
Bernardo hath my place.
Give you good night.
Hola, Bernardo!
Say, is Horatio there?
Yeah, peace of it.
Welcome, Horatio. Welcome, good Marcellus.
What, has this thing appeared again tonight?
I have seen nothing.
Horatio says 'tis but our fantasy, and will not let belief take hold of him, touching this dreaded sight twice seen of us. Therefore I have entreated him along with us to watch the minutes of this night. If again this apparition come, he may approve our eyes, and speak to it.
Tush, tush, 'twill not appear.
Well, sit you down a while. Let us once again assail your ears that are so fortified against our story.
Well,
which
sit
we
we
yet
down.
2 nights sing.
Let us hear Bernardo speak of this.
Last night of all, when yon same star that's westward from the pole had made his course to loom that part of heaven where now it burns, Marcellus and myself, the bell then beating one.
Peace. Break the off.
And the same figure that the king that's dead.
I want a scholar. Speak to it, Horatio.
Looks he not like the king? Mark it, Horatio.
Most like. It horrors me with fear and wonder.
Would be swift.
Speak to it, Horatio.
What art thou that usurps this time of night together with that fair and warlike form in which the majesty of buried Denmark did sometimes march? By heaven, I charge thee, speak!
It is offended.
See, it stalks away.
Stay! Speak! Speak, I charge thee, speak!
It is gone, and will not answer.
And now, Horatio, you tremble and look pale. Is not this something more than fantasy?
Oh my God, I might not disbelieve without the sensible and true avouch of mine own eyes.
Is it not like the king?
Hast thou it to thyself? 'Tis strange.
Thus twice before, and jumped at this dead hour, with martial stalk hath he gone by our watch. In what particular thought to work I know not, but in the gross and scope of my opinion, this bodes some strange eruption to our state.
Well may it sort that this portentous figure comes on and through our watch, so like the king that was.
Mote it is to trouble the mind's eye. In the most high and palmy state of Rome, a little ere the mightiest Julius fell, the grave stood tenantless, and the sheeted dead did squeak and gibber in the Roman streets as stars with trains of fire and dews of blood, disasters in the sun, and the moist star, upon whose entire Neptune's influence stands, was sick almost to doomsday with eclipse. And such the like precursor feared events have heaven and earth together demonstrated unto our creatures and countrymen. Soft. Behold, lo, where it comes again! I'll cross it though it blast me! Stay, illusion! If thou hast any use or sound of voice, speak to me! If thou art privy to thy country's fate, which happily foreknowing may avoid, oh, speak. Or if thou hast hoarded in thy life extorted treasure in the womb of earth, for which they say you spirits oft walk in death, speak of it. Stay and speak! Speak! Stop me, Marcellus!
Shall I strike at it with my powder?
Do if it will not stand!
'Tis here!
'Tis here!
'Tis gone. We do it wrong, being so majestical to offer it the show of violence. For it is as the air, invulnerable, and our vein blows malicious mockery.
I was about to speak when the cock crew.
It started like a guilty thing upon a fearful summons. I have heard that the cock, which is the trumpet to the morn, doth with his lofty and shrill-sounding voice alert the god of day. And at his warning, whether in earth or air, sea or fire, the extravagant and erring spirit highest was confined. And of the truth herein, this present object is made probation.
It faded on the crowing of the cock. Some say that if against that season comes wherein our Saviour's birth is celebrated, this bird of dawning singeth all night long. And then they say no spirit dare stir abroad. The nights are wholesome, then no planets strike, no fairy takes, nor witch hath power to charm. So hallowed and so gracious is that time.
So have I heard, and do in part believe it. But look, the morn, russet mantled plaid walks over the dew of yon high eastward hill. Break we up our watch, and upon my advice, let us impart what we have seen tonight unto young Hamlet. For upon my life, the spirit dumb to us will speak to him. Do you consent we shall acquaint him with it, as is needful in our loves, fitting our duty?
Let's do it, I pray. And I this morning know where we shall find him, most convenient.
Though yet of Hamlet, our dear brother's death, the memory be green, and that it us befitted to bear our hearts in grief, and our whole kingdom to be contracted in one brow of woe, yet so far hath discretion fought with nature, that we, with wisest sorrow, think on him together with remembrance of ourselves. Therefore our sometime sister, now our queen, the imperial jointress to this warlike state, have we, as 'twere with a defeated joy, with an auspicious and a dropping eye, with mirth in funeral, with dirge in marriage, in equal scale weighing delight and dole, taken to wife. Nor have we herein barred your better wisdoms, which have gone with this affair along, for all our thanks. And now, Laertes, what's the news with you? You told us of some suit. What is Laertes? You cannot speak of reason to the Dane and lose your voice. What wouldst thou beg, Laertes, that shall not be my offer, not thy asking? The head is not more native to the heart, the hand more instrumental to the mouth, than is the throne of Denmark to thy father. What wouldst thou have, Laertes?
My dread lord, your leave and favor to return to France, from whence, though willingly I came to Denmark to show my duty in your coronation. Yet now I must confess that duty done, my thoughts and wishes bend again toward France, and bow them to your gracious leave of God.
Have you your father's leave? What says Polonius?
He hath, my lord, wrung from me my slow leave by laborsome petition, and at last upon his will I sealed my hard consent. I do beseech you, give him leave to go.
Take thy fair hour, Laertes. Time be thine, and thy best graces spend it at thy will. But now, my cousin Hamlet, and my son.
A little more than kin, and
How-
less than kind.
How is it that the clouds still hang on you?
Not so, my lord. I am too much of the sun.
Good Hamlet, cast thy nighted colour off, and let thine eye look like a friend on Denmark. Do not forever with thy veiled lids seek for thy noble father in the dust. Thou knowest, 'tis common. All that lives must die, passing through nature to eternity.
Aye, madam, it is common.
If it be, why seems it so particular with thee?
Seems, madam. Nay, it is, I know not seems. 'Tis not alone my inky cloak, good mother, nor customary suits of solemn black. No, nor windy suspiration of forced breath. No, nor the fruitful river of the eye, nor the dejected havior of the visage, together with all forms, modes, shows of grief, which can denote me truly. These indeed seem, for they are actions that a man might play, but I have that within, which passeth show. These but the trappings and suits of woe.
'Tis sweet and commendable in your nature, Hamlet, to give these mourning duties to your father. But you must know that your father lost a father, that father lost his, and the survivor bound in filial obligation, for some term, to do obsequious sorrow. But to persever in obstinate condolement is a course of impious stubbornness. 'Tis unmanly grief. It shows a will most incorrect to heaven, a heart unfortified, a mind impatient, an understanding both simple and unschooled. For what we know must be, and is as common as any, the most vulgar thing to sense, why should we in our peevish opposition take it to heart? Fie! 'Tis a fault to heaven, a fault against the dead, a fault against nature, to reason most absurd, whose common theme is death of fathers, and who still hath cried from first course till he that died today, this must be so. We pray you, throw to earth this unprevailing woe, and think of us as of a father. For let the world take note, you are most immediate to our throne. And with no less nobility of love than that which dearest father bears his son, do I impart toward you. For your intent in going back to school in Wittenberg, it is most retrograde to our desire, and we do beseech you, bend you, to remain here, in the cheer and comfort of our eye, our chiefest courtier, cousin, and our son.
Let not thy mother lose her prayers, Hamlet. I pray thee stay with us. Go not to Wittenberg.
I shall, in all my best, obey you, madam.
Why, 'tis a loving and a fair reply. Be as ourself in Denmark. Madam, come. This gentle and unforced accord of Hamlet sits smiling to my heart, in grace whereof no jocund health that Denmark drinks today, but the great cannon to the clouds shall tell, and the kings rouse the heavens shall brew it again, re-speaking earthly thunder. Come, away.
This too solid flesh would melt, thaw and resolve itself into a dew. Or that the everlasting had now fixed his cannon against self-slaughter. Oh God, how weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of this world. Fie, 'tis an unweeded garden. Things rank and gross in nature possess it merely, that it should come to this. 2 months dead, nay. Not so much, not to so excellent a king that was to this, Hyperion to a satyr, so loving to my mother that he might not beteem the winds of heaven visit her face too roughly. Heaven and earth, must I remember? Why, she would hang on him, as if increase of appetite had grown by what it fed on, and yet within a month. Let me not think on't. Frailty, thy name is woman. Within a month, yet those shoes were old with which she followed my poor father's body like Niobe, all tears. Why, she, even she, oh God, a beast that wants discourse of reason, would have mourned longer. Married with mine uncle, my father's brother, but no more like my father than I to Hercules. A little month, ere yet the salt of most unrighteous tears had left the flushing in her gullet eyes, she married, oh, most wicked speed to boast, with such dexterity to incestuous sheets. It is not, nor it cannot come to good.
Hail to your lordship.
I'm glad to see you well. Horatio. I do forget myself.
Say, my lord, your poor servant ever.
So, my good friend, I'll change that name with you. I will make you from Wittenberg, Horatio. Marcellus.
Lord.
I'm very glad to see you. Good evening, sir. But what did make you from Wittenberg, Horatio?
A true disposition, good my lord.
I would not hear your enemy say so. Nor shall you do mine ear that violence make a truster of your own report against yourself. I know you are no truant, but what is your affair in Elsinore? We'll teach you to drink deep ere you depart.
My lord, I came to see your father's funeral.
Prithee, do not mock me, fellow student. I think it was to see my mother's wedding.
Indeed, my lord, it followed hard.
Thrift. It was thrift, Horatio. The funeral baked meats did coldly furnish forth the marriage tables. I would I had met my dearest foe in heaven, or ever I had seen that day, Horatio. My father thinks I see my father.
Where?
In my mind's eye, Horatio.
I saw him once. He was a goodly king.
He was a man taken for all in all. I shall not look upon his like again.
My lord, I think I saw him yesternight.
So,
My lord, the king, your father. Seizing your admiration for a while with an intent ear, until I may deliver upon the witness of these gentlemen this marvel to you.
for God's love, let me.
2 nights together have these gentlemen, Marcellus and Bernardo, on their watch in the dead waste in the middle of the night, been thus encountered. A figure like your father, armed at point exactly capapé, appears before them, and with solemn march goes slow and stately by them. Thrice he appeared by their oppressed and fear-surprised eyes within his truncheon's length, whilst they, distilled almost to jelly with the act of fear, stand dumb and speak not to him. This to me in dreadful secrecy in part they did, and I with them the third night kept the watch, whereas they had delivered both in time, form of the thing, each word made true and good, the apparition comes. I knew your father, these hands are not more like. But where was this?
My lord, upon the platform where we watched.
Did you not speak to him? I did, my lord, but answer made it none. Yet once methought he did lift up its head and address itself to motion as if it would speak, but even then the morning cock crew loud, and it shrank in haste away, and it vanished from our sight. 'Tis very strange. As I do live my honour, lord, 'tis true. And we did think it writ down in our duty to let you know of it.
Indeed. Indeed, sirs. But this troubles me. Hold you the watch tonight.
We do, my lord.
Arms, say you.
Armed, my lord.
From top to toe.
My lord, from head to foot.
Then saw you not his face.
Oh, yes, my lord. He wore his beaver up.
What looked he? Frowningly?
A countenance more in sorrow than anger.
Pale or red?
Nay, very good.
Fixed his eyes upon you.
Most constantly.
I would have been there.
It would have much amazed you.
Very like. Very like. Stayed long?
While one with a moderate haste might tell 100.
Longer.
Not when I saw it.
His beard was grizzled, no?
It was as I have seen it in his life, a sable silver.
I will watch tonight. Perchance 'twill walk again.
I warrant it will.
If it assume my noble father's person, then I'll speak to it, though hell itself should gape and bid me hold my peace. I pray you all, if you have hitherto concealed this sight, then let it be tenable in your silence still, and whatsoever else shall hap tonight, give it an understanding, but no tongue. I will requite your loves. So, fare you well. Upon the platform, 'twixt 11 and 12, I'll visit you.
Duty to your honor.
To your honor.
Loves, and mine to you. Farewell. My father's spirit in arms! All is not well! I doubt some foul play. And would the night were come. Till then, sit still, my soul. Foul deeds will rise, though all the earth overwhelms them to men's eyes.
My necessaries are embarked. Farewell. And sister, as the winds give benefit and convoy is assistant, do not sleep, but let me hear from you.
You doubt that.
For Hamlet and the trifling of his favor hold it a fashion and a toy in blood, a violet in the youth of primy nature, forward not permanent, sweet not lasting, the perfume and suppliance of a minute no more.
No more but so.
Think it no more, for nature crescent does not grow alone in thews and bulk, but as this temple waxes, the inward service of the mind and soul grows wide withal. Perhaps he loves you now, and now no soil, no cottle doth besmirch the virtue of his will, but you must fear his greatness weighed. His will is not his own, for he himself is subject to his birth. He may not, as unvalued persons do, carve for himself, for on his choice depends the safety and health of this whole state, and therefore must his choice be circumscribed unto the voice and yielding of that body, whereof he is the head. Then, if he says he loves you, it fits your wisdom so far to believe it, as he this particular act or place may give his same deed, which is no further than the main voice of Denmark goes withal. Then, weigh what loss your honor may sustain if with too credent ear you list his songs, or lose your heart, or your chaste treasure open to his unmastered importunity. Fear it, Ophelia! Fear it, my dear sister, and keep you in the rear of your affection, out of the shot and danger of desire. The chariot maid is prodigal enough if she unmask her beauty to the moon. Virtue itself escapes not calumnia's strokes. The canker galls the infants of the spring too oft before their buttons be disclosed, and in the morn and liquid dew of youth, contagious blasphemous are most imminent. Be wary then, best safety lies in fear. Youth to itself rebels, though none else near.
I shall the effect of this good lesson keep, as watchman to my heart. But good, my brother, do not as some ungracious pastors do. Show me the steep and thorny way to heaven, whilst like a puffed and reckless libertine himself, the primrose path the dalliance treads, and recks not his own reed.
Oh, fear me not. I stay too long. But here my father comes. A double blessing is a double grace. Occasion smiles upon a second leave.
Yet here Laertes aboard, for shame. The wind sits in the shoulder of your sail, and you are stayed for. There, my blessings with thee. And these few precepts in thy memory. Look thou character. Give thy thoughts no tongue, nor any unproportioned thought is apt. Be thou familiar, but by no means vulgar. Those friends thou hast and their adoption tried, grapple them to thy soul with hoops of steel, but do not dull thy palm with entertainment of each new-hatched, unfledged comrade. Beware of entrance to a quarrel, but being in, bear it that the opposed may beware of thee. Take each man's censure, but reserve thy judgment. Costly thy habit as thy purse can buy, but not expressed in fancy. Rich, not gaudy, for apparel oft proclaims the man. And those in France of the best rank and station are most select and generous, chief in that. Neither a borrower nor a lender be, for loan oft loses both itself and friend, and borrowing dulls the edge of husbandry. This above all else, to thine own self be true, and it must follow as night the day, thou canst not then be false to any man. My blessing season this in thee. Farewell.
Most humbly do I take my leave, my lord.
Go, the time invites you. Your servants attend.
Farewell, Ophelia, and remember well what I have said to you.
'Tis in my memory locked, and you yourself shall keep the key of it.
Farewell.
What is it, Ophelia, he hath said to you?
So please you, something touching the Lord Hamlet.
Mary, well bethought. 'Tis told me he hath very oft of late given private time to you, and you yourself have of your audience been most free and bounteous. If 'tis so, as so 'tis put to me, and that by way of caution, I must tell you, you do not understand yourself so clearly as it behooves my daughter in your honor. What is it between you? Give me up the truth.
He hath, my lord, of late made many tenders of his affection to me.
Affection, pooh. You speak like a green girl, unsifted in such perilous circumstance. Do you believe his tenders, as you call them?
I do not know, my lord, what I should think.
Mary, I will teach thee. Think yourself a baby, that you have taken these tenders for true pay, which are not sterling. Tender yourself more dearly, or, not to crack the wind of the poor phrase running it thus, you'll tender me a fool.
My lord, he hath importuned me with love in honorable fashion.
Aye, fashion you may call it. Go to, go to.
And hath given countenance to his speech with almost all the holy vows of heaven.
Aye, springes to catch woodcocks. I do know when the blood burns how prodigal the soul lends the tongue vows. These blazes, daughter, giving more light than heat, extinct in both, even in their promise, as it is a making, you must not take for fire. From this time be somewhat scanter of your maiden presence. Set your entreatments at a higher rate than a command to parley. For Lord Hamlet believes so much in him that he is young, and with a larger tether may he walk than may be given you. In few, Ophelia, do not believe his vows, for they are brokers, not of that dye which their investments show, but mere implorators of unholy suits, breathing like sanctified and pious bawds, the better to beguile. This is for all. I would not, to speak in plain terms, from this time forth, have you so slander any moment leisure as to give words or talk to the Lord Hamlet. Look to it, I charge you. Come your ways.
I shall obey, my lord.
The air bites shrewdly. It's very cold.
'Tis nipping in an eager air.
What hour now?
I think it lacks of 12.
No, it is struck.
Indeed. I heard it not. Then draws near the season wherein the spirit held is wont to walk. What is that, my lord?
The king doth wake tonight. Takes his rouse, keeps wassail, and the swaggering upspring reels. And as he drains his draughts of Rhenish down, the kettle drum and trumpet thus bray out the triumph of his pledge.
Is it a custom?
Aye, merry is't, though to my mind, though I'm native here and to the manor born, 'tis a custom more honored than the breach than the observance. This heavy-headed revel, east and west, makes us traduced and taxed of other nations. They clep us drunkards, and with swinish phrase soil our addition. And indeed it takes from our achievements, or performed at height, the pith and marrow of our attribute. So oft it chances in particular men, that for some vicious mole of nature in them, as in their birth, wherein they're not guilty, sith nature cannot choose her origin, or by the o'ergrowth of some complexion oft breaking down the pales and forts of reason, or by some habit that too much o'erleavens the form of plausive manners, that these men carrying, I say, the stamp of one defect, be it nature's livery or fortune's star, the virtues else, be they as pure as grace, as infinite as man may undergo, shall in the general censure take corruption from that particular fault. The dram of evil doth all the noble substance often drown to his own scandal.
Look, my lord, where it comes.
Angels, angels and ministers of grace, defend us! Be thou a spirit of health, or goblin damned! Bring with thee heirs from heaven, or blasts from hell. Be thy intents wicked or charitable. If thou comest in such a questionable shape, that I will speak to thee. I have called thee Hamlet, King, Father, Royal Dane. Oh, answer us. Let me not burst in ignorance, but tell why thy canonized bones, acid in death, have burst their cerements. Why the sepulchre wherein we saw thee quietly inurned hath oped his ponderous and marble jaws to cast thee up again. What may this mean? That thou, dead corpse, again in complete steel, revisits thus the glimpses of the moon, making night hideous, and we, fools of nature, so hurriedly to shake our dispositions with thoughts beyond the reaches of our souls. Say, why is this? Wherefore? What should we do?
It beckons you to go away with it, as if it's some impartment it desire to you alone.
Look with what courteous action it waves you to a more removed ground. But do not go with it.
No, by no means will not speak. Then I will follow it. Do not, my lord. Why? What should be the fear? I do not set my life as a pin's be, and for my soul, what can it do to that? Being a thing immortal as itself, it waves me forth again. I'll follow it. Ah, what if it tempts you toward the flood, my lord? Or to the dreadful summit of the cliff that beetles over his base into the sea, and there is some other horrible form that might deprive your sovereignty of reason and draw you into madness, think on! The very place puts toys of desperation without more motive into every brain that looks so many fathoms into the sea and hears it roar beneath. It waves me still! Go on, I'll follow thee!
You shall not go, my lord!
Hold off your hand! He rules, you shall not go! My faith cries out, and makes each petty artery in this body as hardy as the Nemean lion's nerve. Unhand me, gentlemen. I have been the wicked ghost of him that lets me. I say away! Go on! Go on, I'll follow thee!
He waxes desperate to imagination.
Let's follow. 'Tis not fit thus to obey him.
Have after! What issue shall this come?
Something is rotten in the state of Denmark.
Heaven will direct it.
Oh, nay. Let's follow him.
Whither wilt thou lead me? Speak! I'll go no farther!
Mark me.
I will!
My hour is almost come when I to sulphurous and tormenting flames must render up myself.
Alas, poor ghost.
Pity me not, but lend thy serious hearing to what I shall unfold.
Speak. I bound to him.
So art thou to revenge when thou shalt hear.
What?
I am thy father's spirit. For a certain term to walk the night, and for the day confined to fast in fires till the foul crimes done in my days of nature are burnt and purged away. But that I am forbid to tell the secrets of my prison house, I could a tale unfold, whose lightest word would harrow up thy soul, freeze thy young blood, make thy two eyes like stars start from their spheres, thy knotted and combined locks to part, and each particular hair to stand an end, like quills upon fretful porpentine. This eternal blazon must not be to ears of flesh and blood. List, oh list, if ever thou bidst thy dear father love.
Oh God!
Revenge is foul and unnatural murder. Murder most foul as in the best it is, but this most foul, strange, and unnatural.
Haste me to know it, that I with wings as swift as meditation or the thoughts of love may sweep to my revenge.
I find thee apt, and duller shouldst thou be than the fat weed that roots itself in ease on Lethe wharf, wouldst thou not stir in this. Now, Hamlet, here, 'tis given out, that sleeping in my orchard a serpent stung me. So the whole ear of Denmark is by a forged process of my death rankly abused. But know, thou noble youth, the serpent that did sting thy father's life now wears his crown.
Oh, my prophetic soul! Mine uncle!
Aye, that incestuous, that adulterate beast with witchcraft of his wit and traitorous gifts. O wicked wit and gifts that have the power so to seduce, one to his shameful lust, the will of my most seeming virtuous queen. O Hamlet, what a falling off was there from me, whose love was of that dignity that it went hand in hand even with the vow I gave to her in marriage, and to decline upon a wretch whose natural gifts were poor to those of mine. But virtue, as it never will be moved, though lewdness court it in a shape of heaven, so lust, though to a radiant angel linked, will sate itself in a celestial bed and prey on garbage. But soft, methinks I scent the morning air. Brief let me be. Sleeping in my orchard, my custom always of the afternoon, upon my secure hour, thy uncle stole with juice of cursed heaven in a vial, and in the porches of my ears did pour the leprous distilment, whose effect holds such an enmity to the blood of man, that swift as quicksilver it courses through the natural gates and alleys of the body, and with a sudden vigor doth posset and curd like thick and eager droppings into milk, the thin and wholesome blood. So did it mine. And a most instant tetter barked, laser-like, with vile and loathsome crust, all my smooth body. Thus was I, sleeping by a brother's hand, deprived of life, of crown, of queen, at once dispatched, cut off even in the blossoms of my sin, unhouselled, disappointed, unanelled, no reckoning made, but sent to my account with all my imperfections on my head. Thou hast nature in thee, bear it not. Let not the royal bed of Denmark be a couch for luxury and damned incest. But howsoever thou pursues this act, taint not thy mind, nor let thy soul contrive against thy mother aught. Leave her to heaven, and to those thorns that in her bosom lodge to prick and sting her. Farewell at once. Glowworm shows the matting to be near, and gins to pale his uneffectual fire. But you, remember me.
Host of heaven. What else? Shall I couple hell? Fine. Hold my heart. You, my sinews grow not instant old, but bear me stiffly up. Remember thee, I, thou poor ghost, whilst memory holds a seat in this distracted globe. Remember thee. Oh yea, from the table of my memory I'll wipe away all trivial fond records, all saws of books, all forms, all pressures past, that youth and observation copied there, and thy commandment all alone shall live within the book and volume of my brain, unmixed with baser matter. Yes, by heaven, oh, most pernicious woman. Oh, villain! Villain! Smiling, damned villain! My tables. Meet it is I set it down, that one may smile, and be a villain. At least I'm sure it may be so in Denmark. So, uncle, there you are. Now to my word. My word. It is adieu. Adieu. Remember me. I have sworn to.
My lord! My lord! Lord Hamlet!
And insecure and
So be it.
Hello! Ho, ho! My lord!
Hello, ho, ho, boy! Come, bird. Come.
How is my noble lord?
my lord, what news?
Oh, wonderful!
Good, my lord, tell it.
No, you'll reveal it.
Not I, my lord, by heaven.
No, and how say you then? Would heart of man once think it? But you'll be secret.
I, my lord, by heaven.
There's never a villain dwelling in all Denmark, but he's an errant knave.
There needs no ghost come from the grave, my lord, to tell us this.
Why, right. You are in the right. Therefore, without more circumstance at all, I hold it fit that we shake hands and part. You, as your business and desire shall point you, for every man hath business and desire, such as it is. And for mine own poor part, look you, I'll go pray.
He's up at wild and whirling words, my lord.
I'm sorry they offend you. Heartily, yes, faith.
There is heartily no offense, my lord.
Yes, but there is, and much offense too. By St. Patrick, Horatio, touching this vision. Here. It is an honest ghost, that let me tell you. For you desire to know what is between us. Oh, master it as you may. And now, friends, as you are friends, soldiers, scholars, grant me one poor request.
What is it, my lord?
Never make known what you have seen tonight.
Not I, my lord, in faith.
Nor I, my lord. Nay, but swear it. I, my lord, in faith. Upon my sword. We have sworn, my lord, already. Indeed. Upon my sword, indeed.
Swear.
Ah, boy. Say'st thou so? Art thou there, Trapani? Come. You hear this fellow in the cellarage? Consent to swear.
Propose the oath, my lord.
Never to speak of this that you have seen tonight.
Not I, my lord.
Swear by my sword.
Not I, my lord.
Swear.
Hic it ubique. Then we'll shift our ground. Come hither, gentlemen. Lay your hands again upon my sword. Swear by my sword, never to speak of this that you have heard.
Swear by his sword.
Well said, old mole. Kids working the earth so fast. A worthy pioneer. Once more remove, good friends.
Day and night, but this is wondrous strange.
And therefore, as a stranger, give it welcome. No more things in heaven and earth than are dreamt of in the philosophy. Horatio. But come, here as before. Never so help your mercy, or stranger odds so ne'er I bear myself, as I perchance hereafter shall think meet to put an antique disposition on, that you at such times, seeing me, never shall, with arms encumbered thus, or with this head shake, or by pronouncing of some doubtful phrase as well, we know, or we couldn't if we would, or there being if they might, or if we list to speak, or any such ambiguous giving out, to note that you know aught of me. This do swear. So grace and mercy at your most needs help you.
Swear.
Rest! Rest, perturbed spirit. So, gentlemen, with all my love I do commend me to you, and what so poor a man as Hamlet is made sure to express his love and friending, God willing shall not lack. Let us go in together, and still, Your fingers on your lips, I pray. The time, it's out of joint. Oh, cursed spite! That ever I was born to set it right. Hey, come, let's go together.
How now, Ophelia? What's the matter?
Oh, my lord, I've been so affrighted.
With what in the name of God?
My lord, as I was sewing in my closet, Lord Hamlet with his doublet unbraced, no hat upon his head, his stockings fouled, unguarded and down jibey to his ankle, pale as his shirt, his knees knocking each other, and with a look so piteous and purport as if he had been loosed out of hell. To speak of horrors, he comes before me.
Mad for thy love?
Do not know, my lord, but truly I do fear it.
What said he?
He took me by the wrist and he held me hard. Then goes he to the length of all of my arm, and with his other hand thus over his brow, he falls to such perusal of my face, as if he would draw it. Long stayed he so. At last a little shaking of mine arm, and thrice his head doth waving up and down, he raised a sigh so piteous and profound, as if to shatter all of his bulk and end his being. That done, he let me go. And with his head over his shoulder turned, he seemed to find his ways without his eyes. For out of doors he went without their help, and to the last spended their light on me.
Come, go with me. I will go seek the king. This is the very ecstasy of love, whose violent property fordoes itself and leads the will to desperate undertakings as oft as any passion under heaven that does afflict our natures.
What?
I am sorry. What? Have you given him any hard words of late?
No, my good lord, but as you did command, I repelled his letters and denied his access to me.
This hath made him mad. I am sorry that with better heed and judgment I had not quoted him. I feared he did but trifle and meant to rack thee. But beshrew my jealousy. By heavens, it is as proper for our age to cast beyond ourselves in our opinions, as it is common for the younger sort to lack discretion. Come, go we to the king. This must be made known, which being kept close might move more grief to hide than hate to utter love. Come.
Welcome, dear Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Moreover, that we did much long to see you. The need we have to use you did provoke our hasty sending. Something have you heard of Hamlet's transformation, so call it? Sith nor the exterior nor the inward man resembles that it was. What it should be, more than his father's death, that thus hath put him so far from the understanding of himself, I cannot dream of. I entreat you both, that being of so young days brought up with him, and sith so neighbor to his youth and behavior, that you vouchsafe your rest here in our court some little time, so by your companies to draw him on to pleasures, and to gather so much from occasion you may glean whether aught unknown to us afflicts him thus. That open lies within our remedy.
Good gentlemen, he hath much talked of you, and sure I am two men there are not living to whom he more adheres. If it will please you to show us so much gentry and goodwill as to expend your time with us a while, for the supply and profit of our hope, your visitation shall receive such thanks as fits a king's remembrance.
Both your majesties might, by the sovereign power that you have of us, put your dread pleasures more into command than to entreaty.
But we both obey and here give up ourselves in the full bent to lay our service freely at your feet to be commanded. Oh.
Thanks, Rosencrantz, and gentle Guildenstern.
Thanks, Guildenstern, and gentle Rosencrantz. And I beseech you, instantly, to visit my too much changed son. Go, some of you, and bring these gentlemen where Hamlet is.
Heavens make our presence and our Heavens make our presence and our practices pleasant and helpful to them.
Aye, amen.
Polonius tells me, my dear Gertrude, he hath found the head and source of all your son's distemper.
I doubt it is no other but the May, his father's death, and our o'er hasty marriage.
Well, we shall sift him.
My liege and madam, To expostulate what majesty should be, what duty is, why day is day, night, night, and time is time, were nothing but to waste night, day, and time. Therefore, since brevity is the soul of wit, and tediousness the limbs and outward flourishes, I will be brief. Your noble son is mad. Mad call I it. For to define true madness, what is it but to be nothing else but mad? But let that go.
More matter with less art.
Madam, I swear I use no art at all. That he is mad, 'tis true. 'Tis true, 'tis pity, and pity 'tis true. A foolish figure. But farewell it, for I will use no art. Mad, let us grant him then. And now there remains that we find out the cause of this effect, or rather say the cause of this defect. For this effect defective comes by cause. Thus remains, and the remainder thus. Perpend. I have a daughter, have while she is mine, who in her duty and obedience, mark, hath given me this. Now gather and perpend to the celestial and my soul's idol, the most beautified Ophelia. This is an ill phrase, a vile phrase. Beautified is a vile phrase, but you shall hear. In her excellent white bosom, these etc.
Came this from Hamlet to her.
Good madam, stay a while. I will be patient and faithful. Doubt thou the stars are fire, doubt that the sun doth move, doubt truth to be a liar, but never doubt I love. O dear Ophelia, I am ill at these numbers. I have not art to reckon my groans, but that I love thee best, O most best, O most best, believe it, adieu. Thine evermore, most dear lady, whilst this machine is to him. Hamlet. This in her obedience hath my daughter shown me, and more above hath his solicitings, as they fell out by means, by time, and place, all given to mine ear.
But how hath she received his love?
What do you think of me?
Well,
As of a man both faithful and honorable.
I would fain prove so. But what might you think when I had seen this hot love on the wing as I perceived it? I must tell you that before my daughter told me. What might you, or my dear majesty, your queen here think, if I played the desk or table book, or given my heart a winking, mute and dumb, or looked upon this love with idle sight? What might you think? No. I went round to work. My young mistress thus I did bespeak. Lord Hamlet is a prince out of thy star. This must not be. Then I prescripts gave her, that she should lock herself from his resort, admit no messengers, receive no tokens, which done, she took the fruits of my advice, and he repelled a short tale to make, fell into a sadness, then into a fast, thence into a watch, thence into a weakness, thence into a lightness, and by this declension into the madness wherein he now raves, and all we mourn for.
Do you think 'tis this?
it may be very like.
Hath there been such a time, I would fain know that, when I have positively said 'tis so, when it proved otherwise?
Not that I know.
Take this from this, if this be otherwise. If circumstances lead me, I will find where truth is hid, though it were hid indeed within the center.
How may we try it further?
You know, sometimes he walks 4 hours together here in the lobby.
So he does indeed.
At such a time, I will loose my daughter to him. Be you and I behind the arras then to mark the encounter. If he love her not, or be not from his reason fallen thereon, let me be no assistant of state, but keep a farm and carters.
Well, we will try it.
But look, where sadly the poor wretch comes reading.
Away, both of you, I beseech you, away! Give me leave, I'll board him presently. How does my good Lord Hamlet?
Well, God of mercy.
Do you know me, my lord?
Excellent well. You are a fishmonger.
Not I, my lord.
Then how would you were so honest a man?
Honest, my lord?
I said, to be honest as this world goes, is to be one man picked out of 10,000.
That's very true, my lord.
For if the sun breed maggots and a dead dog, being a god, kissing a carrion. Have you a daughter?
I have, my lord.
Let her not walk in the sun. Conception is a blessing, but as your daughter may conceive, friend, look to it.
How say you by that? Still harping on my daughter. Yet he knew me not at first. He said I was a fishmonger. He is far gone, far gone. And truly in my youth I suffered much extremity for love very near this. I'll speak to him again. What do you read, my lord?
Words, 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 words.
What is the matter, my lord?
Between who?
I mean the matter that you read, my lord.
Slander, sir! For the satirical rogue says here that old men have grey beards, their faces wrinkled, their eyes pudgy, thick amber and plum tree gum. They have a plentiful lack of wit, together with most weak hands, all which, sir, though I most potently and powerfully believe, I hold it not modesty to have it thus set down. For you yourself, sir, shall grow as old as I am, if like a crab you could go backward.
Though this be madness, yet there is method in it. Will you walk out of the air, my lord?
Into my grave!
Indeed, that's out of the air. How pregnant sometimes his replies are. A happiness that madness often hits on, which reason and sanity could not be so prosperously delivered on. I'll leave him and suddenly contrive the means of meeting between him and my daughter. My honored lord, I will most humbly take my leave of you.
You cannot, sir, take from me anything I will more willingly part with all, except my life. Except my life. Except my life.
Fare you well, my lord.
These tedious old fools!
You go to seek the Lord Hamlet, there he is.
God save you, sir. My honored lord,
My most dear lord.
My excellent good friends, how dost thou, Guildenstern?
Oh, Rosamund.
Good lads, how do you both?
Those the indifferent children of the earth.
happy in that we are not over heaven. On Fortune's cap, we are not the very button.
Nor the soles of her shoe.
Neither, my lord.
Why, then you live about her waist or in the middle of her favors.
Faith, her private ways.
What, the secret parts of fortune? 'Tis true she's a strumpet. What news?
None, my lord. But that the world has grown honest.
Then is doomsday near. But your news is not true. Let me question more in particular. What have you, my good friends, deserved at the hands of fortune that she sends you to prison hither?
Prison, my lord.
Denmark's a prison.
Why, then is the world.
A goodly one, in which there are many wards, confines, dungeons. Denmark being one of the worst.
We think not so, my lord.
Why then, it is not to you. For there is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. To me, it is a prison.
Well, then your ambition makes it one. 'Tis too narrow for your mind.
Oh, God! I could be bounded in a nutshell and count myself a king of infinite space, were it not that I have bad dreams.
Which dreams indeed are ambition, for the very substance of the ambition is merely the shadow of a dream.
A dream itself is but a shadow.
Truly. And I hold ambition to be of so airy and light a quality that it is but the shadow's shadow.
Then are our beggars' bodies and our monarchs, kings, and outstretched heroes the beggars' shadows. Shall we to the court, for by my fay I cannot reason.
We'll wait upon you.
No such matter. I will not sort you with the rest of my servants, for to speak to you like an honest man, I am most dreadfully attended. But in the beaten way of friendship, what make you at Elsinore?
To visit you, my lord. No other occasion.
beggar that I am. I'm even poor in thanks, but I thank you. And sure, my dear friends, my thanks are due, dear a halfpenny. Were you not sent for? Is it your own inclining? Is it a free visitation? Come, come. Deal justly with me. Come, come, they speak.
What do we say, my lord?
Why, anything but to the purpose. You were sent for, and there's a kind of confession in your looks which your modesties have not craft enough to colour. I know the good king and queen have sent for you. To what end, my lord? Why, that you must teach me. But let me conjure you, by the rights of our fellowship, by the obligation of our ever-preserved youth, and by what more dear a better proposer can charge you withal, be even and direct with me where you sent for and know. What say you? Nay, then, I have and I have you. If you love me, hold not off.
My lord, we were sent for.
I shall tell you why. So shall my anticipation prevent your discovery, and your secrecy to the king and queen will moult no feather. I have of late, but wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth, forgotten all custom of exercise. And indeed it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me a sterile promontory, this most excellent canopy. Look you, this brave o'erhanging firmament, the air, this majestical roof, fretted with golden fire, why it appeareth to me no other thing than a foul and pestilent congregation of vapors. What a piece of work is a man! How noble in reason, in form and moving, how express and admirable. In action, how like an angel, in apprehension, how like a god, the beauty of the world, the paragon of animals. And yet to me, what is this quintessence of dust? Man delights not me. No, nor woman neither, though by your smiling you would seem to say so.
My lord, there was no such stuff in my thoughts.
Why did you laugh then when I said man delights not me?
Think, my lord. If you delight not in man, what Lenten entertainment the players shall receive from you. We coated them on the way, and hither are they come to offer you service.
He that plays the king shall be welcome. His majesty shall have tribute on me.
There are the players.
Your hands then come, gentlemen. The appurtenance of welcome is fashion and ceremony. Let me comply with you in this garb, lest my extent to the players, which I tell you must show fairly outward, should appear more like entertainment than yours. You are welcome, but my uncle, father, and aunt, mother are much deceived.
In what, my dear lord?
I'm but mad north and northwest. When the wind is southerly, I know a hawk from man saw.
We'll be with you, gentlemen.
Mark you, Gildersleeve. Oh, Rosemary, and you too. And each hearer. That great baby you see there is not yet out of his swaddling clouds.
Happily he is the second time come to them, for they say an old man is twice a child.
I will prophesy. He comes to tell me of the players. Mark it. You say aright, sir. Sir, on Monday morning, 'twas then indeed.
My lord, I have news to tell you.
My lord, I have news to tell you. When Roscus was an actor in Rome.
My lord, the actors are come hither.
Buzz!
Upon my honor.
And came each actor on his ass.
The best actors in the world, either for tragedy, comedy, history, pastoral, comical, historical, pastoral, tragical, historical, comical, historical, pastoral. Scene indivisible or poem unlimited. Seneca cannot be too heavy, nor Plautus too light. By law of writ and liberty, these are the only men.
O Jephthah, judge of Israel, what a treasure hast thou?
What a treasure had he, my lord?
Why, one fair daughter, and no more, the which he loved passing well.
Still on my daughter.
Am I not to the right, old Jephthah?
If you call me Jephthah, my lord, I have a daughter I love passing well.
Nay, that follows not.
What follows then?
Why, as by lot, God wot, and it came to pass as most like it was. The past chancellor will show you more. But look you, my abridgment comes. Masters, you're welcome, welcome all. I'm very, very glad to see you. What? My old friend, by thy face is valence and son, comes out to beard me in Denmark. What? My young lady and mistress. By your lady, your ladyship is near to heaven by the altitude of a show beam, when then I saw thee last. Pray God, your voice like a piece of gold be not cracked within the ring. Masters, within to it like French falconers, fly anything we see. We'll have a speech straight. Come, give us a taste of your quality. Come, a passionate speech.
What speech, my good lord?
I heard thee speaking his speech once. 'Twas never acted. 'Twas Aeneas' tale to Dido, and thereabout it especially when he speaks of Priam's slaughter. If it live in your memory, begin at this line. The rugged Pyrrhus, like the Hyrcanian beast. 'Tis not so. Oh, 'tis not so. It begins with Pyrrhus. The rugged Pyrrhus, he whose sable arms, black as his purpose, did the night resemble. When he lay couched in the ominous horse, hath now this dread and black complexion smeared with heraldry more dismal. Now is he total red, horridly tricked with blood of fathers, mothers, daughters, sons, baked and empasted with the parching streets that lend a tyrannous and a damned light to their lord's murder, roasted in wrath and fire, and thus o'ersized with coagulate gore, with eyes like carbuncles, the hellish Pyrrhus, old grandsire Priam, seeks so.
Before God, my lord, well spoken, with good accent and good discretion.
Anon he finds him, striking too short as Greeks. His antique sword, rebellious to his arm, lies where it falls, repugnant to command. Unequal matched, Pyrrhus at Priam drives. In rage strikes wide, but with the whiff and wind of his fell sword, the unnerved father falls. The senseless Ilium, seeming to feel this blow, with flaming top stoops to his base, and with a hideous crash takes prisoner Pyrrhus' ears. For lo, his sword, which was declining on the milky head of Reverend Priam, seemed in the air to stick. So, as a painted tyrant Pyrrhus stood, and like a neutral to his will and matter, did nothing. But, as we often see, against some storm, a silence in the heavens, the bold winds speechless, and the orb below as hush as death. Anon the dreadful thunder doth rend the region. So, after Pyrrhus' pause, aroused vengeance sets him newer work, and never did the Cyclops' hammers fall on Mars' armor with less remorse than Pyrrhus' bleeding sword now falls on Priam. Out! Out, thou strumpet fortune! All you gods in general synod, take away her power, break all the spokes and fellies from her wheel, and bowl the round nave down the hill of heaven, as low as to the fiend.
This is too long.
Shout to the barber with your beard. Prithee say on. He's for a jig, or a tale of bawdry, or he sleeps. Say on. Come to Hecuba.
But who, woe, had seen the mobled queen?
That's good. Mobled queen is good.
Run, barefoot up and down, threatening the flames with bison rheum, a clout upon that head where late the diadem stood, and for a robe about her lank and all o'er teemed loins, a blanket in the alarm of fear caught up. Who this had seen, with tongue in venom steeped, against fortune's state would treason have pronounced. If the gods themselves did see her ring, when she saw Pyrrhus make malicious sport, mincing with his sword her husband's limbs, the instant burst of clamor that she made, unless things mortal moved them not at all, would have made milch the burning eyes of heaven, and passion in the gods.
Look how he has not turned his color. He has tears in his eyes. Prithee, no more.
Tis well. Speak out the rest of us too soon. My lord, will you see the players well bestowed? Do you hear? Let them be well used, for they are the abstract and brief chronicles of the time. After your death, you would better have a bad epitaph in their ill report while you live.
My lord, I will use them according to their deserts.
Odds bodkin, man! Much better. Use every man according to his deserts, and who shall scape whipping? Use them after your own honor and dignity. The less they deserve, the more merit is in your bounty.
Come, sirs.
Follow him, friends. We'll have a play tomorrow night. Dost thou hear me, old friend? Thou canst play the murder of Prince Argo.
Aye, my lord.
We'll have to follow that lord, and look you, mock him not. My good friends, I'll leave you till tonight.
My dear lord.
You are welcome to Elsinore. I so. Goodbye with ye. Now I'm alone. Oh, what a rogue and slave am I. Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, a dream of passion, could force his soul so to his own conceit, that from her working, all his visage wan, tears in his eyes, distraction in his aspect, his whole form suiting with functions to his deceit, a broken voice, and all for nothing. For Hecuba. What's Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba, that he should weep for her? What if he had the motive and cue for passion that I have? He would drown the stage with tears, cleave the general ear with horrid speech, make mad the guilty and appall the free, and amaze indeed the very faculties of eyes and ears. Whilst I, a dull and muddy metal rascal, peak like John and Remus, unpregnant of my cause, and can say nothing, no, not for a king upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. Am I a coward? Who calls me villain, huh? Breaks my pate across, plucks off my beard and blows it at my face, tweaks me by the nose, gives me the lie of the throat as deep as the lungs. Who does me this, huh? Swoons I should take it, for it cannot be but that I'm pigeon-livered and lack gall to make oppression bitter, or this I should have fatted the regent kites with his slaves awful, bloody, body villain, remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless villain! Oh, vengeance! What an ass am I? This is most brave. That I, the son of a dear father murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell, must, like a whore, unpack my heart with words and fall a-cursing like a very drab, a scullion. Firepot! About my brains, I've heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have by the very cunning of the scene been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions. For murder, though it hath no tongue, will speak with most miraculous organ. I'll have these players play something like the murder of my father before mine uncle. I'll observe his looks. I'll tempt him to the quick. If he do blench, I know my course. The spirit that I have seen may be the devil, yea, perhaps out of my weakness and my melancholy, as he's most potent with such spirits, abuses me to damn me. I'll have grounds more relative than this. The play's the thing, wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king.
And can you by no drift of conference get from him why he puts on this confusion, grating so harshly his days of quiet with turbulent and dangerous lunacy?
He does confess he feels himself distracted, but from what cause he will by no means speak.
Nor do we find him forward to be sounded, but with a crafty madness keeps him aloof, and we would bring him unto some confession of his true state.
Did he receive you well?
Most like a gentleman.
But with much forcing of his disposition.
Negative question, but of our demands most free in his reply.
Did you essay him to any pastime?
Madam, it so fell out that certain players we are wrought on the way. Of these we told him, and there did seem in him a kind of joy to hear of it. They are here about the court, and as I think, have already ordered this night to play before him.
'Tis most true, and he beseeched me to entreat your majesties to hear and see the matter.
With all my heart, and it doth content me much to hear him so inclined. Good gentlemen, give him a further edge, and drive his purpose into these delights.
We shall, my lord.
Sweet Gertrude, leave us too, for we have closely sent for Hamlet hither, that he may, as 'twere by accident, hear affront Ophelia. Her father and myself, lawful espials, will so bestow ourselves that, seeing unseen, we may of their encounter frankly judge and gather by him as he is behaved, if be the affliction of his love or no that thus he suffers for.
I shall obey. And for your part, Ophelia, I do wish that your good beauties be the happy cause of Hamlet's wildness. So shall I hope your virtues will bring him to his wonted way again, to both your honors.
Madam, I wish it may.
Walk you here, Ophelia. Gracious, so please you we will bestow ourselves. Read on this book, that show of such an exercise may color your loneliness. We are oft to blame in this, 'tis too much proved, that with devotion's visage and pious action, we do sugar o'er the devil himself.
Oh, 'tis too true. How smart a lash that speech doth give my conscience. The harlot's cheap beauty with plastering art is not more ugly to the thing that helps it than is my deed to my most painted word. Heavy earth.
My lord, I hear him coming. Let's withdraw.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take in arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing end them. To die, to sleep, no more. And by sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to consummation devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep. To sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. And there's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time? The oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of disprized love, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin. Who would farms bear, to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, that undiscovered country, from whose bourne no traveller returns, puzzles the will, makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others we know not of. Thus, conscience does make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with a pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pith and moment, with this regard their currents turn awry, and lose the name of action. But soft you now, the fair Ophelia, nymph, in thy orisons be all my sins remembered.
Good my lord, how does your honor fare for this May day?
I humbly thank you. Well.
My lord, I have remembrances of yours that I have longed to redeliver. I pray you now receive them.
No, not I never gave you aught.
My good lord, you know right well you did. And with them words of so sweet breath composed, it's made things more rich, their perfume lost. Take these again, for to the noble mind rich gifts wax poor when givers prove unkind.
Are you honest?
My lord.
Are you fair?
Please your lordship.
That if you admit no discourse to your beauty.
Good beauty, my lord, have better commerce than with honesty.
Aye, truly. For the power of beauty will sooner transform honesty from what it is to a bawd than the force of honesty can translate beauty into his own likeness. This was sometime a paradox, but now the time gives it proof. I did love you once.
Indeed, you made me believe so.
Should not have believed me. Virtue cannot so inoculate our old stock, but we shall relish of it. I loved you not.
I was the more deceived.
Get thee to a nunnery. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I myself am indifferent honest. But yet I could accuse me of such things. It were better that my mother had not borne me. I am very proud, revengeful, ambitious, with more offenses at my beck than I have thoughts to put them in, imagination to give them shape, or time to act them in. And what should such fellows as I do? Crawling between heaven and earth. We are errant knaves all. Believe none of us. To thy ways to a nunnery. Where is your father?
He's at home, my lord.
Let the door be shut on. They may play the fool Noah, but in his own house. Farewell.
Oh, help me, sweet heaven.
Thou dost marry, then I'll give thee this plague for thy dowry. Be thou as chaste as ice, as pure as snow, thou shalt not escape thy calumny. To and only go. Farewell. Or if thou wilt need marry a fool, for wise men know well enough what monsters you make of them. To and only go, and quickly too. Farewell.
Oh, help him, you sweet heavens.
I've heard of your paintings well enough. God hath given you one face, you make yourselves another. You jig, you amble, you lisp, you nickname God's creatures. You make your wantonness your ignorance. Go to! I'm no more aunt. It has made me mad. I say we shall have no more marriage. All those that are married already, all but one shall live. The rest shall keep as they are.
Oh, what a noble mind is here overthrown. The courtiers, soldiers, scholars, eye, tongue, sword, the expectancy rose of a fair state, the glass of fashion and the mold of form, the observed of all observers, quite down. And I, of ladies most deject and wretched, that suck the honey of his music vows, now see that noble and most sovereign reason, like sweet bells jangled out of tune, that unharsh, harming feature of blown youth blasted with ecstasy. Oh, woe is me to have seen what I have seen, to see what I see.
Love, his affections do not that way tend, nor what he spoke, though it lacked form a little, was not like madness. There's something in his soul o'er which his melancholy sits on brood. And I who doubt the hatch and disclose will prove some present danger, for which to prevent, I have in quick determination thus set it down. He shall with speed to England, for the demand of our neglected tribute. Haply the seas and countries different, with their variable objects, will expel this something settled matter in his heart, whereon his brain still beating thus puts him from fashion of himself. What think you on't?
It shall do well, but yet do I believe the origin and commencement of his grief sprung from neglected love. How now, Ophelia? You need not tell us what Lord Hamlet said. We heard it all. My lord, do as you wish, but if you hold it fit, after the play, let his queen mother all alone entreat him to show his grief. Let her be round with him. And it please you, I'll be in the ear of all their conference. If she find him not, to England send him, or confine him where your wisdom best shall think.
It shall be so. Madness in great ones must not unwatched go.
Oh, it bends me to the soul to see a robustious, periwig painted fellow tear a passion to very tatters, to very rags, to split the ears of the groundlings who for the most part are capable of nothing but inexplicable dumb shows and noise. Speak the speech, I pray, as I pronounced it to you, trippingly on the tongue. But if you mouth it, as many of your players do, I had as lief the town crier spoke my lines. And nor do not saw the air too much thus. Use all gently, from the very torrent, tempest, and as I may say, whirlwind of your passion, you must acquire and beget a temperance which may give it smoothness. Aye, my lord. Go, make you ready. My lord, will the king hear this piece of work?
And the queen too, and presently.
Bid the players make haste. Will you two help to hasten?
Aye, my lord, I will.
What ho, Horatio! Here, my lord, at your service. Horatio, thou king, as just a man as e'er my conversation cope with all. Oh, my lord. Nay, do not think I flatter, for what advancement may I hope from thee, which no revenue hast but thy good spirits to feed and clothe thee? And let the candy tongue lick absurd pomp, and crook the pregnant hinges of the knee where thrift may fall upon it. Dost thou hear? Since my dear soul was mistress of her choice, and could have men distinguish her election, she hath sealed thee for herself, but thou hast been as one in suffering all, that suffers nothing. Man to fortune's buffets and rewards attain with equal thanks. Blessed are those whose blood and judgments are so commingled that they are not a pipe
for fortune's fingers to sound what stop she please. Give me that man that is not passion's slave, and I will wear him in my heart's core, aye, in my heart of hearts, as I do thee. Something too much of this. There is tonight a play for the king. One circumstance that comes near that scene I told thee of my father's death. I prithee, when thou seest that act afoot, even with the very comment of thy soul, observe mine uncle. It is a culted guilt not unkennel itself in one speech. It is a damned ghost that we have seen, and my imaginations are as foul as Vulcan's stithy. I pray you give him a heedful note, and I mine eye will rivet to his face, and after we shall both our judgments join in censure of his seeming.
My lord, if he still ought whilst this play is playing and escape detected, I shall pay the theft.
Get your place, I must be idle.
How fares our cousin Hamlet?
Excellent abate. Of the chameleon's dish, I eat the air, promised craft.
I have nothing with this answer, Hamlet. These words are not mine.
No. No, mine now. My lord, you once did play at the university, you said.
That did I, my lord, and was accounted a good actor.
What part did you enact?
I did enact Julius Caesar. I was killed in the Capitol. Brutus killed me.
'Twas a brute part of him to kill so capital a captor. Be the players ready.
Aye, my lord, they stay upon your pleasure.
Come hither, my dear Hamlet, sit by me.
No, good mother. Here's metal more attractive.
Oh, do you mark that?
Lady, shall I lie in your lap?
No, my lord.
I meant my head upon your lap.
Aye, my lord.
Did you think I meant country matters?
I think nothing.
Well, that's a fair thought to lie between maids' legs.
What is, my lord?
Nothing.
You are merry.
Oh, God, you're only cheek maker. What should a man do but be merry? For look you how cheerfully my mother looks. My father died within 2 hours.
Nay, 'tis twice too much, my lord.
So long. Nay then, let the devil wear black, for I wear a suit of sables. 2 months dead, and not forgotten yet. Why then there's hope a great man's memory may outlive his life by half a year. But by a lady he must build churches then, or else shall suffer not thinking on, like the hobby horse, whose motto is, for oh, the hobby horse is forgot.
What means this, my lord?
Mary, this is mitching malecho. It means mischief.
You like this show and what's the argument of the play?
Players cannot keep counsel, they'll tell all.
Will it tell us what this show meant?
Aye, or any show that you will show them. If you're not ashamed to show, they'll not ashamed to tell you what it means.
You are not. I'll mark the play.
Forward us, and forward our tragedy, here stooping to your clemency, we beg your hearing patiently.
Is this the prologue, or is it the posy of a ring,
'Tis brief.
as women's love is?
For 30 times hath Phoebus' cart gone round, and Neptune's salt wash, and Tennis' orbit ground, and 30 dozen moons with borrowed sheen about the earth have times 12 30s been, since love our hearts and Hymen did our hands unite commutual in most sacred bands.
So many journeys may the sun and moon make us count again, or ere love be done. But woe is me, you are so sick of late, so far from cheer and from your former state that I distrust you. Yet though I discomfort you, my lord, it nothing must. For women fear too much, even as they love, and women's fear and love hold quantity, in neither art or in extremity. Now what my love is, proof hath made you know, and as my love is sized, my fear is so. Where love is great, the littlest doubts are fear. Where little fears grow great, great love grows there.
Faith, I must leave thee, love, and shortly too. My operant powers their functions leave to do, and thou shalt live in this fair world behind, honored, beloved, and haply one as kind, for husband shalt thou.
Oh, confound the rest! Such love must needs be treason in my breast. And second husband, let me be accursed! None wed the second but who killed the first.
Well, that's wormwood! Oh,
the instances that second marriage move are base respects of thrift, but none of love. A second time I kill my husband dead, when second husband kisses me in bed.
I do believe you think what now you speak, but what we do determine, oft we break. So think thou wilt no second husband wed, but die thy thoughts when thy first lord is dead.
No earth to me give food, nor heaven light. Sport and repose luck from me day and night. To desperation turn my trust and hope, and anchor's cheer in prison be my scope. Each opposite that blanks the face of joy, meet what I would have well and did destroy. Both here and hence pursue me lasting strife. If once a widow, ever I be wife.
If she should break this now,
'Tis deeply sworn. Sweet. Leave me here a while. My spirits grow dull, and fain I would beguile the tedious day with sleep.
Sleep rock thy brain, and never come mischance between us twain.
Madam, how like you this play?
The lady doth protest too much, methinks.
Oh, but she'll keep her word.
Have you heard the argument? Is there no offense in't?
No, they do but jest. Poison and jest. No offense in the world.
What do you call the play?
The mouse trap. Well, marry, how? Trapically. This play is the image of a murder done in Vienna. Gonzago is the duke's name, his wife's Baptista. You shall see it anon. 'Tis a knavish piece of work, but what of that? Your majesty, and we that have free souls, it touches us not. Let the gala jade wince, our withers are unwrung. This is one Lucianus, nephew to the king.
You are as good as a chorus, my lord.
Well, I could interpret between you and your love, could I see the puppets down me?
You are king. You are
Cost you a groaning to take off mine edge.
still better and worse.
So you mistake your husbands. Begin! Come, begin! Begin, murderer. The croaking raven doth bellow for revenge. Come, leave your damnable faces and begin.
Thoughts black, hands at drugs feet, in time agreed, Confederate season, else no creature seeing, thou mixture rank of midnight weeds collected, with Hecate's band thrice blasted, thrice infected, thy natural magic, and dire property of wholesome life use immediately.
He poisons him in the garden for his estate. This story is extant or written in very choice Italian language. You shall see anon how the murderer gets the love of Gonzago's wife.
The king rises.
What? Affrighted with false fire.
No fears, my lords.
Give o'er the play.
Give me some light.
Away!
Why, let the stricken deer go weep. The heart ungalled play. Some must watch, some must sleep. Thus runs the world away. Come, some music!
My lord, Vox. Good, my lord, vouchsafe me a word with you.
Sir, a whole history.
The king, sir,
Aye, sir, what of him?
is in his retirement marvelous distempered.
With drink, sir.
No, my lord, with cholera.
Why, your wisdom would show itself more richer to signify this to the doctor. For me to put him to his purgation, I perhaps plunge him into more color.
Good, my lord, put your discourse into some frame and start not so wildly for my affair.
I'm tame, sir, pronounce.
The queen, your mother, in most great affliction of spirits, hath sent me to you.
You are welcome.
Nay, good my lord, this courtesy is not of the right breed. If it shall please you to make me a wholesome answer, I will do your mother's commandment. If not, your pardon and my return shall be the end of my business.
I cannot, sir.
What, my lord?
Make you a wholesome answer. My weight is diseased.
Ah! Sir, such answer as I can make you shall have, or rather, as you say, my mother, therefore.
Then, thus she says, your behavior hath struck her into amazement and admiration.
Oh, wonderful son that can so astonish your mother! But is there no sequel at the heels of this mother's admiration?
She desires to speak to you in her chamber ere you go to bed.
Ah, we shall obey, was she 10 times our mother. Have you any further trade with us?
My lord, you did love me once.
And you still, by these pickers and stealers.
Good my lord, what is the cause of your distemper? You do surely bar the door upon your own liberty if you deny your griefs to your friend.
Oh, sir, I lack advancement.
How can that be when you have the voice of the king himself for your succession in Denmark?
Aye, sir. But while the grass grows, you know, the horse starveth. The proverb is something musty. Ah, the recorders. To withdraw with you. Why do you go about to recover the wind of me, as if you would draw me into a toil?
Oh, my lord, if my duty be too bold, my love is too unmannerly.
I do not well understand that. Will you play upon this pipe?
My lord, I cannot.
I pray you.
Believe me, I cannot.
I beseech you.
I know no touch of it, my lord.
It is as easy as lying. Govern these vintages with your thumb and fingers. Give it breath with your mouth, and it will discourse most eloquent music. Look you, these are the stops.
But these cannot I command to any utterance of harmony. I have not the skill.
And look you, what an unworthy thing you would make of me. You would seem to know my stops. You would pluck out the heart of my mystery. You would sound me from my lowest note to the top of my depth. Yet there is much music. Excellent voice in this little organ, yet cannot you make it speak. Splud! Do you think I'm easier to be played upon than a pipe? Call me whence I'm drunk, you will, though you fret me, you cannot play upon me. Ah, God bless you, sir.
My lord, the queen would speak with you.
My lord, do you see yonder cloud that's in shape of a camel?
By the mask, 'tis like a camel indeed.
No, yet methinks it is like a weasel.
It is backed like a weasel.
Or like a whale.
Very like a whale.
Very. Then I will come to my mother by and by. They fool me. To the top of my bent, they fool me. I will come. By and by.
I will say so.
By and by is easily said. Leave me, friends. Now it is the very witching time of night, when churchyards yawn, and hell itself breathes contagion unto this world. Now might I drink hot blood, and do such bitter business as day would quake to look upon. Soft, have my living, heart whose not thy nature. Let not the soul of Nero into this firm bosom. Let me be cruel, not unnatural. I will speak daggers to her, but use none. My tongue and soul in this be hypocrite. For in my words howsoe'er should be shent, to give them seals, never my soul consent.
Oh, my offense is rank. It smells to heaven. It hath the primal eldest curse on't, a brother's murder. Pray can I not, though inclination be as sharp as will. My stronger guilt defeats my strong intent, and like a man to double business bound, I stand in pause where I shall first begin, and both neglect. Oh, what if this cursed hand were thicker than itself with brother's blood? Is there not enough rain in the sweet heavens to wash it white as snow? Whereto serves mercy, but to confront the visage of offense? And what's in prayer but this twofold force, to be forestalled ere we come to fall, or pardon being down? Then I'll look up, my offense is past. But oh, what form of prayer shall serve my turn? Pardon me my foul murder? That cannot be, since I am still possessed of the effects for which I did the murder. My crown, mine own ambition, and my queen. One be pardoned and still retain the fence? In the corrupted currents of this world, offence's gilded hand may shove by justice, and oft 'tis seen the wicked prize buys out the law. But 'tis not so above. There the action lies in his true nature, and we ourselves compelled even to the teeth and forehead of our faults to give in evidence. What then? What rests? Try what repentance can. What can it not? Yet what can it when one cannot repent? Oh, wretched state, bosom black as death, O limed soul that struggling to be free art more engaged. Help, angels, make essay. Thou stubborn knees, and heart with strings of steel, be soft as sinews of the newborn babe. All may be well.
Now might I do a pat. Now he's praying, and now we'll do it. And so it goes to him, and so am I revenged. Thou be scared. villain kills my father, and for this, I, his sole son, do this same villain send him. Why, this is hire and salary, not revenge. He took my father grossly, full of bread, his crimes broad blown, as flush as May. And how, as odd it stands, who knows, save him? Yet in our circumstance of course of thought 'tis heavy with him. And am I then revenged to take him in the purging of his soul, when he is fit and seasoned for his passage? No, absorbed. No, thou more horrid hint, when he is drunk asleep, or in the incestuous pleasure of his bed, at keen swearing, or about some act that hath no relish of salvation in't, then trip him, that his heels may kick at heaven, and his soul may be as black as hell when to it goes. My mother stays. This physic but prolongs thy sickly days.
My words fly up, my thoughts remain below.
Words without thoughts
Never to heaven go.
He will come straight. Look you, lay home to him. Tell him his pranks have been too broad to bear with, and that your grace has screamed and stood between much heat and him. Pray you, be round with him.
Mother! Mother, mother, mother!
I warrant you, fear me not, withdraw, I hear him coming.
Now, mother, what's the matter?
Hamlet, thou hast thy father much offended.
Mother, you have my father much offended.
Come, come, you answer with an idle tongue.
Go! You question with a wicked tongue.
Why, how now, Hamlet?
What's the matter now?
Have you forgot me?
No, by the rude. Not so. You are the queen, your husband's brother's wife. And would it were not so, you are my mother.
Nay, then I'll set those two that can speak!
Come, and set you down. What? You go not till I have set you on a glass, wherein you may see the inmost part of you.
What wilt thou do? Thou wilt not murder me!
Oh no! A rat! Dead for a ducat, dead!
Oh, I am
Oh me! What hast thou done?
Nay, I know not. Is it the king?
Oh, what a rash and bloody deed is this!
A bloody deed! Almost as bad, good mother, as kill a king and marry with his brother.
As kill a king?
Aye, lady. It was my word. Wretched, rash, intruding fool! Farewell. I tell thee for thy better. Take thy fortune. Thou find'st to be too busy as some danger. Peace! Leave wringing your hands, set you down, and let me wring your heart, for so I shall, if it be made impenetrable stuff, if damned custom hath not brazed it so that it is proof and bulwark against sense.
What have I done that thou durst wag thy tongue in noise so rude against
Such
me?
an act as blurs the grace and blush of modesty, calls virtue hypocrite, takes off the rose from the fair forehead of an innocent love, and sets a blister there. Such a deed as from the body of contraction plucks the very soul, and sweet religion makes a rhapsody of words, makes marriage vows as false as dice oaths. Heaven's face doth glow, all this solidity and compound mass, with tristful visage, as against the doom is thought sick at the act.
I mean, what act that roars so loud and thunders in the index?
Look here upon this picture, and on this, the counterfeit presentment of two brothers. See what a grace was seated on this brow, Hyperion's curls, the front of Jove himself, an eye like Mars to threaten and command, a station like the herald Mercury, new lighted on a heaven-kissing hill, a combination and a form indeed, where every god did seem to set his seal, to give the world assurance of a man. This was your husband. Look you now what follows. This is your husband, like a mildewed ear, blasting his wholesome brother. Have you eyes? Could you on this fair mountain leave to feed and fatten on this moor? Have you eyes? You cannot call it love, for at your age the heyday in the blood is tame, it's humble, and it waits on judgment. And what judgment would step from this to this? Sense sure you have, but sure that sense is apoplected. For madness would not so err, no sense to ecstasy was ne'er so thralled, but a reserve to quantity of choice, to serve it such a difference. What devil was that thus have cozened you at woodman blind? Eyes without feeling, feeling without sight, ears without hands or eyes, smelling sans all, or but a sickly part of one true sense could not so mope. Oh shame, where is thy blush?
If thou canst mutine in a matron's bones to flaming youth, let virtue be as wax and melt in her own fire. Proclaim no shame when the compulsive ardor doth give the charge, since frost itself as actively doth burn, and reason panders will.
Oh, Hamlet, speak no more. Thou turnest my eyes into my very soul, and there I see such black and grained spots as will not leave their teeth.
Nay, but to live in the rank sweat of an enseamed bed, stewed in corruption, honeying and making love over the nasty sty.
Oh, Hamlet, speak no more. These words like daggers enter in my ears. No more, sweet
A
Hamlet.
murderer and a villain, a slave that is not the 20th part the tithe of thy preceding lord, a cutpurse of the empire and the rule that from a shop the precious diadem stole and put it in his pocket.
No more.
A king of shreds and patches. Sing, upward with your wings, you heavenly gods. With which your gracious figure.
Alas, he's mad.
Do not come, your tardy son to chide, that lapsed in time and passion lets go by the important acting of your dread command. Oh, say.
Do not forget, this visitation is but to whet thy almost blunted purpose. But look, amazement on your mother sits. Oh, slip between her and her fighting soul. Conceit in weakest body's strongest works. Speak to her, Hamlet.
How is it with you, lady?
Alas, how is it with you? That you do bend your eye on vacancy, and with incorporeal air do hold discourse. For that your eyes your spirits wildly peep, and as the sleeping soldiers in the alarm your battered hairs like life and excrements start up and stand an end. Oh, gentle son, on the heat and flame of thy distemper sprinkle cool patience. Whereon do you look?
On him! On him! Look you, how pale he glares! His form and cause conjoined preaching to stones would make me keep it. Do not look on me! Lest with this piteous action you convert my stern effects. Then what I have to do will want true color, tears perchance for blood.
To whom do you speak this?
You see nothing there.
Nothing at all, yet all that is I see.
Nor did you nothing hear.
No, nothing but ourselves.
Why, look you. Look you now. Look how it steals away. My father, in his habit as he lived, look how he goes out even now at the portal.
This is the very coinage of your brain. This bodiless creation, ecstasy, is very cunning.
Ecstasy! My pulses yours doth temperately keep time and makes his helpful music. It is not madness that I have uttered. Put me to the test, and I will the mattery word which madness would gamble from. Oh, mother, lay not that flattering unction to your soul that not your trespass, but my madness speaks, will but skim and fill more the ulcerous place, whilst rank corruption, mining all within, infects unseen. Confess yourself to heaven. Repent what's past. Avoid what is to come. And do not spread the compost on the weeds to make them ranker. Forgive me this my virtue. For in the fatness of these pursy times, virtue itself of vice must pardon beg. Yea, curb and woo for leave to do him good.
Oh, Hamlet, thou hast cleft my heart in twain.
Throw away the worser part, and live the purer with the other half. Good night. But go not again to mine uncle's bed. Assume a virtue if you have it not. That monster custom, who all sense doth eat, of habits evil is angel, yet in this, that to the use of actions fair and good, he likewise gives a frock on livery that aptly is put on. Refrain tonight, and that will lend a kind of easiness to the next abstinence, the next more easy. For use can almost change the stamp of nature, and either lodge the devil or throw him out with wondrous potency. Once more, good night. And when you are desirous to be blessed, I'll blessing beg of you. For the same Lord I do repent, but heaven hath pleased it so, to punish me with this, and this with me, that I must be their scourge and minister. I will bestow him, and will answer well the death I gave him. One word more, good lady.
What shall I do?
Not this. By no means that I bid you do. Let the bloat king tempt you again to bed, pinch wanton on your cheek, call you his mouse, and make you for a pair of reechy kisses, so paddling your neck with his damned fingers to ravel all this matter out, that I essentially am not in madness, but mad in craft. 'Twere good you do so, for who's but a queen, fair, sober, wise, would from a paddock, a bat, a jib, such dear concernings hide. No, in despite of sense and secrecy, unpeg the basket from the roof's top. Let the birds fly, like the famous ape, to try conclusions. Into the basket creep, and break your own neck down.
Be thou assured, words be made a breath and breath of life. I have no life to breathe what thou hast said to me.
I must to England, know you that.
Leck, I had forgot 'tis so concluded on.
There's letters sealed, and my 2 schoolfellows, whom I will trust as I will adders fanged, they bear the mandate. They must marshal my way and sweep me to knavery. Let it work. 'Tis the sport to have the engineer hoist with his own petard. And it shall go hard, but I shall delve 1 yard below their minds and blow them at the moon. Oh, it is most sweet when in one line 2 crafts directly meet. This man shall set me packing. I'll lug the guts into the neighbor room. So, mother, good night indeed. This counselor is now most still, most secret, and most grave. He was in life a foolish, prating knave. Come, sir, to draw toward an end with you. Good night, mother.
There's matter in these sighs. These profound heaves you must translate. 'Tis fit we understand them. Where is your son?
Bestow this place on us a little while. Oh, my own lord, what have I seen tonight?
What, Gertrude? How does Hamlet?
Mad. As the sea and wind both contend, which is the mightier. In his lawless fit, behind the hours, hearing something stir, whips out his rapier, cries, "A rat! A rat!" And in his brain shaft the engine kills the unseen good old man.
Heavy deed. It had been so with us had we been there. His liberty is full of threats to all, to you yourself, to us, to everyone. Alas, how shall this bloody deed be answered? It will be laid to us whose providence should have kept short, restrained, and out of haunt this mad young man. But so much was our love that we would not understand what was most fit, but like the owner of a vile disease, to keep it from divulging. Let it feed even on the pith of life. Where is he gone?
To draw apart the body it killed, or whom his very madness, like some ore among a mineral of metal's base, shows itself pure. He weeps for what is done.
Oh, Gertrude, come, away. The sun no sooner shall the mountains touch, but we will have him hence, and this vile deed we must, with all our majesty and skill, both countenance and excuse. Ho, Guildenstern! Friends, both, go join you in some further aid. Hamlet in madness hath Polonius slain, and from his mother's closet hath he dragged him. Go seek him out, speak fair, and bring the body into the chapel. I pray you, haste in this. Come, Gertrude. We'll call up our wisest friends and tell them both what we mean to do and what's untimely done. So envious slander, whose whisper o'er the world's diameter, as level as the cannon to his blank, transports his poison shot, may miss our name and hit the woundless air. My soul, come away. My soul is full of discord and dismay.
Safely stowed.
Hamlet! Lord Hamlet!
What soft, what noise? Who calls on Hamlet? Oh, here they come.
What have you done, my lord, with the dead body?
Compounded it with dust, whereto 'tis kin.
Tell us where 'tis, that we may take it thence and bear it to the chapel.
Do not believe it.
Believe what?
That I can keep your counsel, not mine own. Besides, to be demanded of a sponge, replication should be made by the son of a king.
Take you me for a sponge, my lord.
Aye, sir. One that soaks up the king's countenances,
his rewards, his authorities, and such officers to the king best service in the end. He keeps them, like an ape, in the corner of his jaw, first mouthed to be last swallowed. When he needs what you have cleaned, it has been squeezing you, and sponge, you shall be dry again.
I understand you not, my lord.
I'm very glad of it. A knavish speech sleeps in a foolish ear.
My lord, you must tell us where the body is and go with us to the king.
The body is with the king, but the king is not with the body. The king is a thing.
A thing, my lord.
Of nothing. Bring me to him. Hide, fox, and all after!
How now? What hath befallen?
Where the body is bestowed, my lord, we cannot get from him.
Where is he?
Without, my lord, guarded to know your pleasure.
Bring him before us.
How Guildenstern, bring in the Lord!
Now, Hamlet, where's Polonius?
At supper.
At supper, where?
Not where he eats, but where he is eaten. A certain convocation of politic worms are in at him. Your worm is your only emperor for diet. We fat all creatures else to fat ourselves. And we fat ourselves to feed maggots. Your fat king and your lean beggar is but 2 dishes, variable service, but to 1 table. That's the end.
Alas, alas!
A man may fish with a worm that hath fed of the king, and eat of that fish that hath fed of the worm.
What dost thou mean by this?
Nothing! But to show you how a king may go a progress through the guts of a beggar.
Where's Polonius?
In heaven. Send thither to see. If your messengers find him not there, then seek him in the other place yourself. But, indeed, if you find him not within these 2 months, you shall nose him as you go up the stairs into the lobby.
Go seek him there.
Well, he will stay until you come.
Hamlet, this deed for thine especial safety, which we do tender as we dearly grieve for that which thou hast done, must send thee hence with fiery quickness. Therefore prepare thyself. The bark is ready, the winded help, the associates tend, and everything is bent for England.
England!
Aye, Hamlet.
Good.
So is't if thou knewst our purpose.
I see a cherub that sees them. But come, for England! Farewell, dear mother.
Thy loving father, Hamlet.
No! Father and mother is man and wife. Man and wife is one flesh. Therefore, dear mother, but come, for England!
Follow him at foot, tempt him with speed aboard, delay it not. I'll have him hence tonight. Away, for everything is sealed and done that else leans on the fair. Pray you haste in this. And England, if my love thou hold'st at odds, my great power thereof may give thee sense, since yet thy cicatrice looks raw and red after the Danish sword, and thy free awe pays homage to us. Thou mayst not coldly set our sovereign process, which imports in full by letters congruing to that effect the present death of Hamlet. To wit, England! For like the hectic in my blood he rages, and thou must cure me till I know 'tis done, howe'er my haps, my joys were ne'er begun.
No, I will not speak with her.
She is importunate, indeed distract. Her mood will need to be pitied.
What would she have?
She speaks much of her father, says she hears there's tricks of the world, hems beats at her heart, and spurns enviously at straws. Speaks of things in doubt that carry but half sense. Her speech is nothing, yet the unshaped use of it doth move the hearers to collection. They yawn at it and botch the words up to fit their own thoughts, which, as her nods, winks, gestures yield them, indeed would make one think there might be thought, though nothing sure, yet much unhappily.
'Twere good she were spoken with, for she may strew dangerous conjectures and ill-breeding minds.
Let her come in. My sick soul, as sin's true nature is, each toy seems prologue to some great amiss. So full of artless jealousy is guilt. It spills itself in fearing to be spilt.
Where is the beauteous majesty of Denmark?
How now, Ophelia?
How should I, your true love, know from another one? By his cockle hat and staff and his sandal shoes.
Alas, sweet lady,
Hey, praise his song! He is dead and gone, lady. He is dead and gone. At his head a grass green turf, at his heels a stone.
nay, but Ophelia.
Nay, pray you, Mark, white as shroud as the mountain snow.
Alas, look here, my lord.
Lord, and all with sweet flowers, which bewept to his grave, did not go in true love showers.
How do you, pretty lady?
Well, how do you do? They say the owl was a baker's daughter. Lord, we know what we are, but we know not what we may be. God be at your table.
Conceit upon her father.
Pray, let's have no words of this. But when they ask you what it means, say you this. Tomorrow is St. Valentine's Day, all the morning be time, and I am made at your window to be your Valentine. Then up he rose and donned his clothes and opened the chamber door. Let in the maid, that ought a maid, never departed more.
Pretty Ophelia.
Indeed, law without an oath. I have to make an inroad. Just in by St. Charity, a napkin 5 for shame. Young men will do it if they come to it. My God, they are to blame. Quoth she, before you tumble me, you promised me to wed. He answers, so would I have done by yonder sun, but thou hast not come to thy bed.
How long hath she been thus?
I hope all will be well. We must be patient. I cannot but choose to weep. They would lay him in the cold ground. My brother shall know of it! And so, I thank you for your good counsel. Good night, ladies. Good night, sweet ladies. Good night. Good night.
Follow her close. Give her good watch, I pray you. Oh, this is the poison of deep grief. It springs all from her father's death, and now behold. Oh, Gertrude, Gertrude, when sorrows come, they come not in single spies, but in battalions. First her father slain, next your son gone, and he most violent author of his own just remove. The people muddied, thick, and unwholesome in their thoughts and whispers for good Polonius' death, and we have done but greenly in hugger-mugger to inter him. Poor Ophelia, divided from herself and her fair judgment, without the which we are pictures or mere beasts. Last, as much containing as all these, her brother is in secret come from France, feeds on his wonder, keeps himself in clouds, wants not buzzards to infect his ear with pestilent speeches of his father's death. Wherein necessity of matter beggared, will nothing stick our person to arraign in ear and ear. Oh, my dear Gertrude, this like to a murdering peace in many places gives me superfluous death.
Alack, what noise is this?
Attend, where are my Switzers? Let them guard the door. What's the matter?
Save yourself, my lord. The ocean overbearing on the still sees not the floods with more piteous they send. Young Laertes in a rider's head o'erbear your officers. The realm will call him Lord. And as the world were now but to begin, antiquity forgot, custom not known, the rider fires and prompts and every word they cry, choose we. Laertes shall be king. Caps, hens, and tongues applauded to the clouds. Laertes shall be king. Laertes, king.
Carefully on the false trail they cry. Oh, this is counter, you false Danish dogs!
The doors are broke!
Where is this king? Within! Stand you all without! By the way, you give me leave! I thank you, keep the door! Oh, thou vile king! Give me my father!
Tell me, good Laertes!
That drop of blood that's called proclaims me bastard! Christ cousin to my father! Brands the harlot even here between the chaste unsmirched brow, my true mother!
What is the cause, Laertes, that thy rebellion looks so giant-like? Let him go, Gertrude. Do not fear our person. There's such divinity doth hedge a king that treason can but peep to what it would, acts little of his will. Tell me, Laertes, why thou art thus incensed? Let him go, Gertrude! Speak, man.
Where is my father?
Dead.
But not by him!
Well, how came he dead? I'll not be juggled with. To hell allegiance, vows to the blackest devil, conscience and grace to the profoundest pit. I dare damnation. To this point I stand, at both worlds I give to negligence. Let come what comes. Only I'll be revenged most truly for my father.
Who shall stay you?
For my will, not all the world's. And for my means, I'll husband them so well they shall go far with little.
Good Laertes, If you desire to know the certainty of your dear father, is written your revenge, that swoop stake you will draw both friend and foe, winner and loser.
And none but his enemies.
Will you know them then?
To his good friends, thus wide I'll owe my arms. And like the kind life-rendering pelican, repass them with my blood.
Why now you speak like a good child and a true gentleman. That I am guiltless of your father's death, and am most sensibly in grief for it. It shall as level to your judgment here as day does to your eye.
They bore him barefaced.
How now? What noise is that?
Let her come in.
Bore him barefaced on the bier. They bore him barefaced.
Oh, heat. Drive my brains. 7 times soft, burn out the sense and virtue of mine eye. My heaven. That madness shall be paid with weight till our scale turn the beam. O Rose of May, dear maid, kind sister, sweet of feet. It's possible a young maid's wit should be as mortal as an old man's life. Her nature is fine in love, nor 'tis fine in sense some precious instance of itself. After the thing it loves.
They bore him barefaced on the bier, hey non, and in his grave rained many a tear. Very well, my dog.
Hast thou thy wits? Didst persuade revenge, it could not move us.
You must sing a down. They call it a down. Oh, how the will becomes. It is the false steward that stoned his master's daughter.
She's nothing's more than matter.
It's rosemary. As for remembrance, pray you love remember. As pansies, as for thoughts.
Documented matters. Thoughts and remembrances fitted.
There's fennel for you. And coal mines. And some for me. We may call it Herbal Grace on Sundays. You must wear your rue with a difference. There's daisies for you. I would give you some violets, but they withered all when my father died. They said it made a good end. For bonny sweet Robin is all my joy.
Thought is affliction. Passion. Hell itself she turns to favor and to praise.
And will it not come again? And will it not come again? No, he's dead and gone. Go to thy deathbed, he will not come again. His beard was white as snow. All black was his bow. He's gone. And we cast away a moan. God, mercy on your souls. And to all Christian souls I pray God by you.
These.
Laertes, I must commune with your grief, or you deny me right. Go but apart, and make choice of whom your wisest friends you will. They shall hear and judge twixt you and me. If by direct or by collateral hand they find us touch, we will our kingdom give, our crown, our life, and all that we call ours to you in satisfaction. But if not, be you content to lend your patience to us, and we shall jointly labor with your soul to give it due content.
Let this be so. His means of death, his obscure funeral, no trophy sword, no hatchman o'er's bones, no noble rites, nor funeral ostentation cry to be heard. As 'twere from heaven to earth that I must call to question.
And so you shall, and where the fence is, let the great axe fall. I pray you, go with me. And now must your conscience, You must my acquittance seal, and you must put me in your heart for friend. Sith you have heard, and with a knowing ear, that he which hath your noble father slain pursued my life.
Well appears, but tell me why you proceeded not against these feats so criminal, and so capital in nature as by your safety, greatness, wisdom, all things else you mainly were stirred up.
No, for two special reasons, which to you perhaps may seem much unsinewed, but yet to me they're strong. The queen, his mother, lives almost by his loss. And as for me, my virtue or my plague, be it either which, she is so conjunctive to my life and soul, that as the star moves not but within his sphere, I could not but by her. The other motive why to a public count I might not go, is the great love the general gender bear him, who, dipping all his faults in their affections, would, like the spring that turneth wood to stone, convert his gyves to graces, so that my arrows, too slightly timbered for so loud a wind, would have reverted to my bow, and not where I had aimed.
And so have I a noble father lost, a sister driven into desperate terms, whose worth, if praises may go back again, stood challenger in the mount of all age for her perfections. But my revenge will come.
Break not your sleeps for that. You must not think that we are made of stuff so flat and dull that we can let our beard be shook by danger and think it pastime. You shortly shall hear more. I loved your father, and we love ourselves. And that, I hope, will teach you to imagine that. How now? What news?
Letters, my lord, from Hamlet. This to your majesty, this to the queen.
From Hamlet? Who brought them?
Sailors, my lord, they say I saw them not. They were given me by Claudio. He received them of him that brought them.
You shall hear them, Laertes. Leave us. High and mighty, you shall know I am set naked on your kingdom. Tomorrow I shall beg leave to see your kingly eyes, when I shall, first asking your pardon thereunto, recount the occasion of my sudden and more strange return. Hamlet, what can this mean? Are all the rest come back? Or is it some abuse and no such thing?
Know you the hand?
'Tis Hamlet's character. Naked. And in a postscript he adds, alone. Can you devise me?
I am lost in it, my lord. But let him come. It warms the very sickness in my heart that I shall live and tell him to his teeth, thus diest thou.
If it be so, Laertes, as how should it be so? How otherwise? Will you be ruled by me?
Aye, my lord. So you will not overrule me to a peace.
To thine own peace, Laertes. If he be now returned, as checking at his voyage, and that he no longer means to undertake it, I will work him to an exploit now ripe in my device, whereon he shall not choose but fall. And for his death no wind of blame shall breathe, but that even his mother shall uncharge the practice, and call it accident.
My lord, I will be ruled. The rather, if you could devise it so that I might be the organ.
It falls right. Then talked of, since your travels much, and that in Hamlet's hearing, for a quality wherein they say you shine. The sum of your parts together did not pluck such envy from Hamlet as did that one, and that in my regard of the unworthiest siege, for your rapier most especial. Sir, this report of you did Hamlet so envenom with his envy that he could do nothing but to wish and beg your sudden coming or to play with you. Now, out of this...
What out of this, my lord?
Laertes, was your father dear to you, or are you like the painting of a sorrow, a face without a heart?
Why ask you this?
Not that I think you did not love your father, but that I know that love is begun by time, and that I see in passages of proof that time qualifies the spark and fire of it. There exists within the very flame of love a kind of a wick or a snuff that will abate it, and nothing is at a like goodness still, for goodness, growing to a pleurisy, dies in his own too much. That we should do when we would. For this would hath abatements and delays, as many as there are tongues, our hands, our accidents, and this should, as like a spendthrift sigh that hurts by easing. But to the quick of ulcer. Hamlet comes back. What would you do to show yourself your father's son in deed more than in words?
To cut his throat in the church?
No place indeed should murder sanctuarize. Revenge should know no bounds. But, good Laertes, will you do this? Keep close in your chamber. Hamlet returned shall know you are come home. Put on those shall praise your excellence and set a double varnish on the fame the rumor gave you. Bring you in fine together and wager on your heads. He being remiss, most generous and free from all contriving, will not peruse the foils, so that you may with ease or with a little shuffling choose a sword unbaited and in a pass of practice requite him for your father.
I will do it. And for that purpose, I will anoint my sword. I bought an unction of a mountebank so mortal that but dip a knife in it where it draws blood. No cataplasm so rare, collected from all symbols that have virtue under the moon, can save the thing from death that is but scratched withal. I will touch my point with this contagion. If I gall him slightly, it may be death.
Let's further think of this. Weigh what convenience both time and means may fit us to our shape. If this should fail, and that our drift look through our bad performance, 'twere better not essayed. Therefore this project should have a back or a second that might hold if this should blast in proof. Soft, let me see. We'll wager on your cunnings. I hat. When in your motion you are hot and dry, as make your bouts more violent to that end, I shall and that he should call for drink, I shall have preferred for the nonce a chalice, whereon but sipping, if he should by chance escape your venom stuck, our purpose may hold there. Stay. What noise? How now, my sweet queen?
One doth tread upon another's heel, so fast they follow. Your sister's drowned later.
Drowned? Where?
There is a willow, grows askant a brook, that shows his hoar leaves in the glassy stream. Therewith, fantastic garlands did she make, crowflowers, nettles, daisies, and long frames, that liberal shepherds give a grosser name, but our cold maids do dead men's fingers call them. There, on the pending boughs, carnate weeds, clambering to hay, an envious liver broke, when down her weedy trophies and herself fell in the weeping brook. Her clothes spread wide, and murmured like a while they bore her up, which time she chanted snatches of old laws, as one incapable of her own distress, like a creature native and endued into that element. Long it could not be, till that her garments, heavy with their drink, pulled the poor wretch from her melodious lay to muddy death.
Alas. And she is drowned.
Drowned. Drowned.
Too much of water hast thou, poor field. And therefore I forbid my tears. But yet it is our trick. Nature her custom holds. When these are gone, the woman will be out. Adieu, my lord. I have a speech of fire that fain would blaze, but that this folly drowns it.
Let's follow Gertrude. How much I had to do to calm his rage. Now fearitis will give it start again. Therefore, let's follow.
Is she to be buried in Christian burial that willfully seeks her own salvation?
I tell thee she is. Therefore make her grave straight. The crowner hath sat on her and finds it Christian burial.
How can that be unless she drowned herself in her own defense?
'Tis found so.
It must be se offendendo. It cannot be else. For here lies the point. If I drown myself wittingly, it argues an act, and an act hath three branches. It is to act, to do, and to perform. Argal, she drowned herself wittingly.
But hear you, good men,
Give me leave. Here lies the water. Good. Here stands the man. Good. Now, if the man go to the water and drown himself, it is willy-nilly he goes. Mark you that. But if the water come to the man and drown him, he drowns not himself. Argo, he that is not guilty of his own death, shortens not his own life.
But is this law?
Aye, Mary, is it Crowner's quest law?
Have you the truth on it? If this had not been a gentle woman, she should have been buried out of Christian burial.
Why, there thou sayest, and more pity that great folk have countenance in this world to drown and hang themselves more than they're even Christian. Come, my spade. The only ancient gentlemen are gardeners, ditchers, and grave makers, for they hold up Adam's profession.
Was he a gentleman?
Aye, the first that ever bore arms.
He had none.
What? Art a heathen? How dost thou understand Scripture? Scripture says Adam digged. Could he dig without arms? I'll put another question to thee. If thou answerest me not to the purpose, confess thyself.
Go to.
What is he that builds stronger than the mason, the shipwright, or the carpenter?
Why, the gallows maker. For that frame outlives 1,000 tenants.
I like thy wit well in good faith. The gallows does well. But how does it well? It does well to those that do ill. Now thou dost ill to say the gallows is stronger than the church. Argo, the gallows may do well to thee. To it again.
Who builds stronger than a mason, a shipwright, or a carpenter?
Aye, tell me that and unyoke.
Mary, now I can tell.
To it.
Master cannot tell.
Cudgel thy brains no more about it, for thy dull ass will not mend the pace with beating. When thou art asked this question next, say the grave maker. The houses he builds last till doomsday. Now go to Johann's and fetch me a stoup of liquor. In youth, when I did love, methought it was very sweet to contract the time for my behove. Methought it was nothing amiss.
Hath this fellow no feeling of his business? He sings grave making.
Custom hath made it in him a property of easiness.
'Tis e'en so, the hand of little employment of ever dangerous things.
But age with his stealing steps hath clawed me in his clutch, and hath shipped me until the land as if I had never been
That
such.
skull had a tongue in it, and it could sing once. And how the knave jousts the ground as if it were Cain's jawbone which did the first murder. Why might this not be the pate of a politician which this ass now o'erreaches, one that would circumvent God, might it not?
It might, my lord.
Or of a courtier which could say, Good morrow, sweet lord. How dost thou, sweet lord? This might be my lord such a one that praised my lord such a one's horse when he meant to beg it like at night.
It might.
Why even so, and now my lady worms, chapless, and knocked about the mazard with a sexton's spade. Here's a fine revolution, and we had a trick to see on it. Did these bones cost no more the breeding than to play at loggers with them? Mine ache to think on't.
A pickaxe and a spade, and for a shrouding sheet.
I'll speak to this fellow.
Oh, a pit of clay to be made, for such a guest is meet.
Whose grave's this, Sarah?
Mine, sir.
I think it be thine indeed, for thou liest in it.
You lie out on it, therefore 'tis not yours. For my part, I do not lie in it, yet it is mine.
Thou dost lie in it, to be in it and say it is thine. 'Tis for the dead, not for the quick. Therefore thou liest.
'Tis a quick lie, sir. 'Twill away again from me to you.
What man dost thou dig it for?
For no man, sir.
For what woman, then?
For none neither.
Well, who is to be buried in it?
One that was a woman, sir, but rest her soul, she's dead.
We must speak by the card, or equivocation will undo us. How long hast thou been grave maker, Sarah?
Of all the days in the year I came to it, that day our last King Hamlet overcame Fortinbras.
How long is that since?
Cannot you tell that? Every fool can tell that. It was the very day young Hamlet was born. He that is mad and sent into England.
Aye, marry. Why was he sent into England?
Why? Because he's mad. But he shall recover his wits there. Or if he do not, 'tis no great matter there.
Why?
'Twill not be seen in him there. There the men are as mad as he.
How came he mad?
Very strangely, they say.
How strange.
Faith, even with losing his wits.
Well, upon what ground?
Upon here in Denmark. I have been sexton here, man and boy, 30 years.
How long will a man lie in the earth ere he rot?
If he be not rotten before he die, as we have many a pocky corpses nowadays that will scarce hold the laying in, he will last you some 8 or 9 years. A tanner will last 9 years.
Why he, a tanner, more than another?
Why, sir, his hide is so tanned with his trade that it will keep out water a great while. And your water is a sore decayer of your horse and dead body. Now here's a skull, sir. This skull hath lien in the earth 23 years.
Whose was it?
A horse and mad fellow's it was. Whose do you think it was?
Nay, I know not.
A pestilence on him for a mad rogue. He poured a flagon of Rhenish on me once. This same skull, sir, is Yorick's skull, the king's jester.
This?
Even this.
Let me see. Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio. A fellow of infinite jests, of most excellent fancy. He hath borne me on his back 1,000 times. And now how abhorred in my imagination it is. My gorge rises at it. Here hung those lips that I have kissed, I know not how oft. Where be your jibes now, your gambols, your flashes of merriment that were wont to set the table on a roar? All gone now, not one to mock your own grinning, quite chapfallen. Now get you to my lady's chamber. Tell her, let her paint an inch thick, to this favor she must come. Let her laugh at that. Prithee, Horatio, tell me one thing.
What's that, my lord?
Dost thou think Alexander the Great looked to this fashion of the earth?
Even so, my lord.
And smelt so? Pah!
Even so.
To what base uses we may return, Horatio? Why may not imagination trace the noble dust of Alexander, till it find it stopping a bunghole?
'Twould consider too curiously to consider so.
No, faith, not a jot, but to follow him thither, with modesty enough, and likelihood to lead it as thus. Alexander died. Alexander was buried. Alexander returned to dust. Dust is earth. And of earth we make loam. And why of that loam, whereto he was converted, might they not stop a beer barrel? Imperious Caesar, dead and turned to clay, might stop a hole to keep the wind away. Oh, that that earth, which held the world in awe, might patch a wall to expel the winter's flaw. But who comes here? 'Tis the king, the queen, the courtiers. Who is this they follow, and with such maimed rites? The token, the course they follow, did with desperate hand fordo its own life. 'Twas of some state, count we a while and mark.
What ceremony else?
That is Laertes, a very noble youth. Mark.
Oh, what ceremony else?
Her obsequies have been as far and large as we have warranty. Her death was doubtful, and but that great commandor swears the order she should in grand and sanctified been lodged to the last trumpet. Her charitable prayers, shards, flints, and pebbles should be thrown on her. Yet here she is allowed her virgin krantz, her maiden instruments, and then bringing home a bell and burial.
Must there no more be done?
No more be done. She profane the service of the dead to sing a requiem and such rest for its peace-parted souls.
Lay her in the earth, and from her fair and unpolluted flesh may violet spring. I tell thee, churlish priest, a ministering angel shall my sister be when thou liest howling.
The fair Ophelia.
Sweets to the sweet. Farewell. I hoped thou shouldst have been my Hamlet's wife. I thought thy bride bed to have decked, sweet maid, and not to have strewed thy grave.
Oh, treble wolf, I'll 10 times treble on that cursed head, whose wicked deed thy most ingenious sense deprived thee of. Hold off the earth a while, till I have caught her once more in my arms.
Now, lay your dust upon the quickened dead till of this flat a mountain you have made. Oh, top old Bellion, or the sky is head of blue Olympus. What is he, whose grief bears such an emphasis, whose praise of sorrow conjures the wandering stars and makes them stand like wonder-wounded hearers? This is I, Hamlet the Dane.
The devil take thy soul!
Thou prayest not well. I prithee take thy fingers from my throat. For though I am not splintered and rash, yet I am something dangerous. Thy wisdom fear. Hold up thy hand.
them asunder!
I will fight with him upon this theme until my eyelids no longer wag.
Oh, my son, what theme?
I loved Ophelia. 40,000 brothers could not, with all their quantity of love, make up my sum. What wilt thou do for her?
Oh, he is mad, Laertes.
For the love of God, forbear him.
Swoons, show me what thou do. Would weep, would fast, would tear thyself, would drink up isel, eat a crocodile. I'll do it. Dost thou come here to whine, to outface me with leaping in her grave? Be thou buried quick with her, and so will I. And if thou prate of mountains, let him throw millions of acres on us, till our ground, singeing his pate against the burning zone, make also like a wound. Nay, in out mouth I'll rant as well as thou.
This is mere madness, and that's how while the fit will work on him. Anon, as patient as the female dove, when that her golden couplets are disclosed, his silence will sit drooping.
There you saw. What is the reason that you use me thus? I loved you ever. But it is no matter. Let Hercules himself do as he may. Cat will mew. Dog will have his day.
I pray you, good Horatio, wait upon him. Strengthen your patience in our last night's speech will put the matter to the present push. Good Gertrude, set some watch over your son. An hour of quiet soon we shall see. This grave shall have a living monument. Till then, in patience our proceeding be.
Now shall you see the other. You do remember all the circumstance.
Remember it, Mother.
So in my heart, there was a kind of fighting that would not let me sleep. Methought I lay worse than the mutines and the bilboes, rashly, and praised be rashness for it. Let us know our indiscretion sometimes serves us well, and our deep plots to Paul, and that should learn us there's a divinity that shapes our ends. Rough use them how we will.
Most certain, my lord.
Up from my cabin, my sea gown scarfed about me. Groped I to find out them, had my desire, fingered their packet, and fine withdrew to mine own room again, making so bold. My fears were forgetting manners, to unseal their grand commission, where I found Horatio. Ah, royal knavery, larded with several sorts of reasons, importing Denmark's health and England's too, with such bugs and goblins on my life, that on the supervise, no leisure bated, no, not to stay the grinding of the axe, my head should be struck off.
Is it possible?
I have the commission, read it at more leisure. But wilt thou hear how I did proceed?
I beseech you, my lord.
Being thus benetted round with villainies, or I could make a prologue to my brains. They had begun the play. I sat me down, devised a new commission. I wrote it fair. I went to hold it as our status do, a baseness to write fair, and labored much to forget learning. But sir, now it did me yeoman service. Wilt thou know the effect of what I wrote?
I pray you, my lord.
An earnest conjuration from the king. As love, like the palm, might flourish, as peace might still her wheaten garland bear, and stand a comma tween their amities, and many such like as is of great charge. But on the view and knowing of these contents, he should the bearers put to instant death, no shriving time allowed.
How was the seal?
Why, even in that was heaven ordinate. I had my father's signet in my purse, which was the model of the Danish seal. Folded the writ up in the form of the other, subscribed it, gave it the impression, placed it safely. The changeling was never known. Now what to this was secret. The next day was our sea fight. Thou knowest already.
So Guildenstern and Rosencrantz go to it.
Why, man, they did make love to this employment. They come not near my conscience. The defeat does by their own insinuation grow.
What a king's this?
Does it not? Stand me, think thee, upon he that hath killed my king and whored my mother, popped in between the election of my hopes, thrown out his angle for my proper life, and with such cozenage, is it not perfect conscience to quit him with this arm? Is it not to be damned to let this canker of our nature in further evil?
It must be shortly known to him from England what is the issue of the business there.
It will be short. The interim is mine. And a man's life is no more but to say one. But I am very sorry, good Horatio. The two Laertes I forgot myself. For by the image of my cause, I see the portraiture of his. I'll court his favors, but sure, the bravery of his grief did throw me into a towering passion.
Please. Who's this?
Your lordship is right welcome back to Denmark.
I humbly thank you, sir. Dost know this waterfly?
No, my lord.
Thy state is the more gracious for 'tis a vice to know him thus. A beast, lord of beasts, his crib shall stand at the king's mess. He hath much land and fertile. 'Tis a chuff, but as I say, spacious in the possession of dirt.
Sweet lord, if your lordship were at leisure, I should impart a thing to you from his majesty.
Your bonnet, sir, to its right use. 'Tis for the head.
Oh, nay, sweet lord, it is very hot.
No, believe me, it is very cold. The wind is northerly.
It is indifferent cold, my lord, indeed.
Ah, yes, but yet now methinks 'tis very sultry and hot for my complexion.
Exceedingly, my lord, it is very sultry, as 'twere... I cannot tell how. But my lord, his majesty bade me signify to you that has laid a great wager on your head. So this is the matter.
I do beseech you, sir, remember your courtesy.
Nay, good my lord, for my ease and good faith. Sir, here is newly come to court Laertes, believe me, an absolute gentleman, full of most excellent differences, of very soft society and great showing. Indeed, speak feelingly of him, he is the very card or calendar of gentry, for you shall find in him the continent of what part a gentleman would see.
Sir, his definement suffers no perdition in you, though I know to divide him inventorially would but dozy the arithmetic of memory, and yet but yaw neither in respect of his quick sale, but in the verity of extolment I take him to be so great article, his infusion of such dearth and rareness as to make true diction of him. His syllable is his mirror, and who would trace him his umbrage, nothing more.
Your lordship speaks most infallibly of him.
The concernancy, sir. Why do we wrap the gentleman in our more raw bread?
Sir.
Is it not possible to understand in another tongue? You'll do it, man. Really.
What imports the nomination of this gentleman?
Of Laertes!
His purse is empty already. All his golden words are spent.
Of him, sir.
I know you are not ignorant.
I would you did, sir! But if you did, it would not much prove me.
I know you are not ignorant of what excellence Laertes is.
I dare not confess that, lest I should compare with him in excellence. But to know a man well were to know himself.
I mean, sir, for his weapon. But in the imputation laid on him by them, in his meed he's unfellowed.
What's his weapon?
Rapier and dagger.
That's two of his weapons. But well,
the king, sir, hath wagered with him 6 Barbary horses, against the which he has impawned, as I take it, 6 French rapiers and poniards, with their assigns as girdles and hangers, and so
3 of the carriages, in fact, are very dear to fancy, very responsive to the hilts, most delicate carriages of very liberal conceit.
What call you these carriages?
I knew you must be edified by the margent ere you were done.
Carriages, sir, are the hangers.
Ah, the phrase might be more germane to the matter. Could we carry a cat at our sides? I would they might be hangers till then. But 6 Barbary horses against 3 French swords, their signs, shields, and 3 liberal conceited carriages. Why is this impawned, as you call it, sir?
The king, sir, had laid, sir, in a dozen passes between yourself and him. He shall not exceed you 3 hits. He hath laid on 12 for 9, and it should come to immediate trial if your lordship would vouchsafe the answer.
How, sir, if I answer no?
I mean, my lord, the opposition of your person in trial.
Sir, 'tis the breathing time of day with me. Let the foils be brought, the gentleman willing. The king hold his purposes. I will win for him if I can. If not, I gain nothing but my shame and the odd hits.
Shall I deliver you e'en so?
E'en so, sir. After what flourish your nature will.
I commend my duty to your lordship.
Yours, sir. Yours. He does well to commend himself. There are no tongues else for his tongue.
His lapwing runs away with a shell still on his head.
He did comply with his tit before he sucked it.
You'll lose this wager, my lord.
I do not think so. Since he went into France, I've been in continual practice. Thou would not think how ill also about my heart, but it is no matter.
Nay, good my lord.
It is with foolery, but it is a kind of gain-giving as might perhaps trouble a woman.
My lord, if your mind trouble you, I shall forestall their repair hither and send it you in unfit.
No, not a whit. We defy augury. This is special providence in formless error. If it be not now, it will be to come. If it be not to come, it will be now. If it be not now, it will come. The readiness is all. Since no man of Oz leaves the Ozark, what is to leave betimes? Let it be.
Come, Hamlet, come. Take this hand from me.
Give me your pardon, sir. I have done you wrong. But pardon it as you are a gentleman. This presence knows, and these things have heard, how I am punished with a sore distraction. Sir, in this audience, let my disclaiming from the purpose to free me so far in your most generous thoughts, that I have shot the arrow o'er the house and hurt my brother.
I am satisfied in nature whose motive in this case should stir me most to my revenge. But in my terms of honor I stand aloof and will no reconcilement until by some elder masters of known worth I have a voice in precedent of peace to keep my name ungored. But till that time, I do receive your offered love, like love, not wrong.
I embrace it freely, and will this brother's wager frankly play. Come, give me the foils.
Come, one for me.
I'll be your foil, Laertes. In mine ignorance, your skill shall like a star of the darkest night stick fiery off indeed.
Do you mock me, sir?
No, by this hand.
Give them the foils, young Osric. Cousin Hamlet, know you the wager?
Very well, your grace. The Lord has laid the odds of the weaker side.
I do not fear it. I have seen you both, but since he is bettered, we have therefore odds. Set me the stoops of wine upon that table. If Hamlet give the first or second hit, or quit in answer of the third exchange, let all the battlements their ordnance fire. The king shall drink to Hamlet's better breath, and in the cup an union shall he throw, richer than that which 4 successive kings in Denmark's crown have worn. Give me the cups. Let the kettle to the trumpet speak, the trumpet to the cannoneer without, the cannon to the heavens to the earth. Now the king drinks to Hamlet. Come, begin, and you the judges bear a wary eye.
Come on, sir.
Come, my lord.
One!
No!
Judgment!
A hit! A very palpable.
have it here!
Stay! Give me drink. Hamlet, this pearl is thine. Here's to thy health. Give him the cup.
Set it by a while. I'll play this bout first. Another hit, what say you?
A touch. A touch, I do confess!
Our son shall win.
He's faint and scant of breath. Sir Hamlet, take my napkin. Rub thy brows.
Good madam.
The queen carouses to thy fortune, Hamlet.
Gertrude, do not drink!
I will, my lord, I pray you pardon me.
It is the poisoned cup, it's too late.
I dare not drink yet, madam. By and by.
Come, let me wipe thy face.
Good my lord. I will hear it now.
I do not faint.
And yet it is almost against my conscience.
Come for the third, Laertes! You do but dally! I'm feared you make a wanton of me. Pass with your best violence.
Say you so.
Nothing, neither way.
Got you now.
There! Stop them there and say, come again!
Look at the queen there, oh! They bleed on both sides. How is it, my noble lord? Quick, Laertes.
Oh, is a wood go to mine own spindresser. I just been killed. Mine own treachery.
What is the queen? She swoons to see them bleed.
No, no, the drink, the drink. Oh, my dear Hamlet, the drink. The drink. I am poisoned.
Felony! Let the doors be shut! Treachery! Seek it out!
It is here, Hamlet. Hamlet, thou art slain. No medicine in the world can do thee good. Indeed, there's not half an hour's life. The treacherous instrument is in thy hand, unbaited and envenomed. The foul practice hath turned itself on me. Thy mother's poison. I can no more. The king's to blame.
The point
Envenom! Do thy work!
Oh, yes, defend me, friends! I am but hurt!
Here! Here, though, incestuous, murderous, damned Dane! Drink off this potion! Is there union here? Follow my mother.
He is justly served. It is a poison tempered by himself. Exchange forgiveness with me, noble Hamlet. Mine and my father's death fall not on thee, nor thine on me.
Heaven, make thee free of it. I followed thee. I am dead, Horatio. Wretched queen that you.
You that are pale and tremble at this chance. Had I put time, oh, I could tell you. As this fell sergeant death is strict in his arrest. But let it be. Horatio, I am dead. Thou livest. Report my cause and me, a right to the unsatisfied.
Never believe it. I more an antique Roman than a Dane, yet here's some liquor left.
I thought a man, give me the cup! By heaven, I'll have it. Oh God, Horatio. What a wounded name. Things standing thus unknown shall live behind me, if ever thou didst hold me in thy heart. Absent thee from felicity for a while, and in this harsh world draw thy breath in pain, to tell my story. So tell them, the rest is
noble heart. Good night, sweet prince. Flights of angels sing me to thy rest.